Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful morning. It is November 19th, 2025, and it is Big Jensen Day, Mr. NVDA. So they're going to have their earnings. All eyes are on that. There's a couple of factors, everything from people starting to just buy puts now after this last week, 4 down days in a row. Bond volatility is actually climbing, and I think all of that is going to rest on NVIDIA's shoulders. It's going to either continue a lot of this momentum to the downside, or it's going to give you something else to focus on, and then all you'll be left with, excuse me, is Jerome Powell. Now, you do have the Fed minutes coming out at 2. You also got a bunch of little events here, and we even got a couple of headlines on news and minerals and deals with the Saudis. So we'll see where it all leads us, my friends. But other than that, it is game time, and now we must prepare. We must prepare for a good day, because it is a good day. I don't know if anybody told you that. You should tell yourself that. But my friends, before we start a good day, before we start in the market, before we try to chase a dollar and enrich ourselves, we must pay homage to a very special group of people that has made a sacrifice on that. There's a couple of that's made a sacrifice that most of us never have and ever will. And that is the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the cult, I want to give a huge shout out, active service, past service, anybody who has served this country, even the families. Thank you for all of your service, your sacrifice, everything you have given up in the name of freedom. And whether y'all agreed with stuff or not, y'all held it down, man. And I don't know, people don't, the value, the appreciation, the mentality even of the soldier in service, dog. It is so important, and I think a lot of y'all embody that, and that's why I really do hope that you could use all of this content, man, and get a long term. Save that money, own the property, be wise, stay away from the scoundrels. I hope you get some good, clear, objective information, and at the end of the day, I do want you to know we appreciate you, and we love you, and I really hope all of y'all who have never served and everybody else, I hope this is part of it, man. The character and what we look for, man, I see it's a good vision, dog. So thank all of y'all, and I hope y'all could support it and make some noise for the veterans all when you can, and I hope you have their back the way they have had your back with all of the freedom and, again, value, appreciation. Those are financial terms. So God bless every single one of you. Again, big shouts to your families as well, and big shout out to everybody else out there giving back to their local communities. Doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, everybody making their community run, baby. God bless you and thank you. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise up. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Set the judge! Oh, it's game time, baby! Or not! Oh, Catadonia. Oh, God bless the veterans. God bless America. God bless a good day. It rides on the leather jacket, dog. You better get your leather. Are you wearing your leather jacket or no? You better, what are you doing, man? You better get your leather jacket. We got 1 minute, you know, and you guys were awesome yesterday while I was having my bubble bath. I hope all of you got to watch that or were there. It's kind of wild, man. A couple thousand people watched me take a bubble bath. It was like 400 of y'all live, but oh my gosh. But it was good. We talked about the bubble. We'll probably go over some of those factors as well. But yeah, we lowered the delay a little bit for that. I mean, I had homeboy harassing me. You know how hard I had to fight out to not call his baby ugly? And this guy, you know what I'm saying, bro? And he'd be going and doing all of that stuff. But, you know, other than that, you guys were generally better than not. So I did make sure that you guys were good to go. I really did. I said you got a little bit less of a delay. So compared to what you had yesterday, and we'll see if there's any lagging or anything else of that nature with the news. But yeah, you should have a good day. And I do have a couple plays. We only got 10 seconds. Watch TJX, NVIDIA, EYPT, Merck, Guild, Disney, Square, and XBI. A lot of biotech news. Oh, all right, man. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, I didn't open my other platform. Round 1. Fight. So yeah, the market's open. You just didn't get the bell. You didn't get the bell. Let's see your other boy. Mr. TJX. And then 2, pay attention to NVIDIA premiums. I posted the NVIDIA premium, or the premium. I posted the NVIDIA earnings preview on my Twitter. Real Cult News if you want that. All right. Where is it? Oh, I gotta see what's up with homeboy. Let's see, did we start with good premium or no? That's that. One God, one king, one way. That's that. They killed the NVIDIA puts, but then the calls rocketed up. Interesting. There's big spreads too. So yeah, that's kind of fascinating to start. I know NVIDIA had the thing yesterday, late last night with like Saudis and Mr. Elon. But yeah, NVIDIA's kind of starting off. Remember, it's pricing in like 7 or 8, but then it's moved down 12% in just the last couple of weeks. So that's already kind of a gigantic pre-earnings move if you think about it. All right, I got to open up the other platform here in a little bit. Let's see. Man, who the hell's buying those? That's expensive. And again, there was some stuff with like skew yesterday. So again, some people did go to out of the monies, like that activity picked up. But then again, that might just be the contrarian indicator, or people are getting ready. And then yeah, go look at move too. That started to climb up. I mean, remember, yesterday was only Tuesday, so you know you had time for some of those things to develop. All right, I'll get this open. I'm looking. I like some of the premiums. Again, the good ones. I haven't looked at Target yet, but you'll be able to see. Where is your boy? Yeah, Target. I don't know if Target is gonna stay pinned or if it's actually gonna hit. That's that. One God, one king. I hate big spreads. Why are they making the spread so large, huh? Oh, I remember though. We played one of these and it was difficult. Oh, okay. It's coming back to me. Yeah, bro, you might have to go near the money, but it's costly. Honestly, all these spreads are terrible, dude. NVIDIA. Yeah, Netflix chilled out. I mean, I regretted selling early a little bit, but then again, welcome to Chop City, where nothing follows through. Oh, man. Qualcomm on the high. Watch the values, too. I mean, they're kind of already starting off pretty chill. No, Lowe's is earnings. So Lowe's actually did good, especially after HD did bad. They might end up eating the lunch. And then TJ Maxx was the good one. There was one more. Squares already gave that one up. Dog, some of these spreads are terrible. You gotta go, you gotta go. I hate to do this. I would love for this to last. I'll take pictures of the long term so you don't forget the past. My shit is kind of slow. Oh, that failed? All right. Yeah, I did it on that one for a reason. I didn't think it would. All right, I found one. Alrighty. So, for my locked-in people, you gamblers, you, I hope you protect the deposit. But go look America. Not a recommendation. Run a thought, chat. Google's coming up. And then again, 1.7 now. What does the preview say on NVDA? I'm pretty sure it's 8. 7 or 8. Yeah. So yeah, it's pricing in 7.3 and it's already doing 2 after dropping 12. QQQ, and Googly again. Google's going, actually Google is running it right now. Google's up 3.4. So again, Nasdaq's up by 0.4. Dow just flipped green as well. 52-week high on Google. SPY is up by 0.3, and then the Russell is up by 0.2 as well. But yeah, you're running a decent amount right here. Let's see. All right, one of those, they lowered the bid because of liquidity. You guys added liquidity to that, and now it gave you a way lower ask. So that's phenomenal for where it is. Hey, what the hell? Those Googles too from earlier. When did those expire? You got a little bit more time on those. That Google late play is actually up 50. So do what you want with it. And then yeah, dude, Google is just straight up. So again, to start off, I mean, right as everybody started buying puts in the bond volatility, I mean, this is a pretty big open, just straight up there. But it's mainly tech. Again, you're actually leading by a bigger margin. I forgot to look at equal weight. Yeah, equal weight's barely green. So those staples and everything else, and not so much, BB, you know, not so much. Yxmash. Let's see, where does NVDA? FCX, all the rare earths following MP. Yeah, dude, there was a couple of deals. You had the Constellation, you had MP, and there was another piece of news. Netflix going down, and then Google. My goodness, dude. That's like unreal, dude. It's not, you don't even got one red candle, 5% almost, 4.4 on Google. Yeah, all-time high, 52-week high, and it's just going straight up. Habibi, where did you learn this one? Okay, those went 100. I'm gonna dump it, dude. That one went, I did not think that would actually hold. They won't fill it now. They literally just wiped all the bids. It's still up, but that's funny. My goodness, dude. This is such a scam. All right, I got out of the Google. They went up like, it's anywhere from 40 to 80%, but it all depends where you get filled. All-time highs on Google. And then Apple now going. I forgot about those. So yeah, Apple's starting to rocket up too. Oh, dude, gold came down as well. Or gold came up. Those other plays came down. Apple premiums are not really popping yet. Meta negative on the year, I know. Constellation plant will be back online in 2027, says Secretary Wright. And then I got rid of a Google, so it's either gonna rip or dump. So good luck with that. It's our dude. It just took 4.5 in damn 5 minutes, 9 minutes. It was kind of crazy. Oh, probably from Gemini. Yeah, I mean Gemini is awesome, dude. People have been really, really loving it, and it does look pretty impressive compared to. It looks like when they launched GPT 4.0, but then on crack. And then Oracle's going. I mean, again, we were just talking about all of these corporate bonds. And remember, if NVIDIA does good, That's going to ease up a lot of pressure. The moment Oracle's bonds chill out, I think people are going to love that. All right, TJX is getting faded. That one's not going. Where's the other one? Googly woogly. Dude, some of these spreads are terrible. What's the other one? Aviva on the... Oh, watch biotechs and healthcare. I don't think healthcare is doing as good. Actually, it's the reverse. Healthcare's up, biotechs are down, but there was a lot of those news headlines this morning. And then Google again. Habibi. How they do this? Apple now? Wow. All right, man, it's a pretty strong open for tech, but it also seems like light at the same time. It's not really everything, or any other days we would have this much green. You would think it would be a lot strong. Like, we've ripped way harder on some of these mornings, but NVIDIA up, Google up. Is Meta the only one down? I mean, you don't even have Oracle dying, yeah. Well, then there's Google once again. Come on, bro. I need you to load. All right, Apple premiums are starting to go. That's not the one I liked as much. Oh, I haven't looked back at Target yet. Procter gambling. Meta with the little candle. Apple's still kind of going. Remember, they had the China news yesterday. Staples are giving it up now. See, TJX faded. I'm surprised, bro. Look at Target up, TJX down. That's a complete inverse, but Target wasn't. Target's doing 2. That one's not as big, but again, TJX was up like 5 at one point. Now there's Broadcom, and then there's Oracle. And then NVDA. Oh, where's Molina? Oh, Molina already faded too. They did good towards the close, but not enough juice. Dog, why do all of these suck? Alright, we'll wait. We'll wait. Do I like Nokia for the long term? No. Not after it's ran up as much too. But nah, I think you could do better. And then if you're asking non-long term, I don't know why you ask me. Microsoft going up, and then more NVDA. Doesn't NVDA fill a gap? I think, give or take another $1. So we'll see what happens there. I want the Square, but I don't like the prices. If any of you want to buy some Square to add liquidity, but then you're gonna get clapped. That's why I'm not buying it. Unfortunately, it's a little too concentrated. Yeah, bro, Google is insane. But even Apple's starting to come up. I mean, if you could get the other ones up, like Meta, Oracle, I think Broadcom's running already. So those are all looking good for now. Yeah, Rackle's looking good too, but it's small. No, dude, they did good. TJ Maxx was like actually very impressive, but they took a bigger intraday move here off the morning than Target, and Target was just underwhelming. I don't even think Target was like that bad, but it definitely wasn't the hottest. Ababasis. Yeah, Nokia, didn't they have earnings this morning? And they had some updates, but it's not really my biggest target there for a long term. We had good plays on the NVDA stuff, but that was about it. Adobe just bought somebody, so they bought a company this morning, so that might be part of why they're selling off. I mean, even though if Netflix is like, we're buying somebody, it goes up. I mean, we've seen way too much of that, but yeah, they've abused Adobe on that one. But it is a new price of the year, so we are getting back to that price. You guys remember the first time we brought up AI, like back in the day, a couple years ago, when we were talking how Adobe kind of gets linked into it? I mean, it is getting back to that level. And that is a new price of the year. So that's kind of phenomenal. I'm making some earnings plays free. Yeah, Square is gonna have Investor Day. They already pre-announced the buyback earlier. Did any of you guys buy those? Did you fucking tighten up the spreads? Because that shit's just shitty, dude. Unfortunately. And that's what I'm noticing right now on a lot of these, is that if it's out of the money and like terrible, the spreads are fine. But any of the good plays that you would like actually make money on, the spreads are extremely wide. So then it's not like if you want to demand it and get filled on it, you're gonna get a bad price. So unfortunately, I'd rather do nothing than not. But I'm making a couple plays free right now. It's up to you to do the same. It's still early though. I want to hold more of them, but I got a couple of free ones now on NVDA, so I don't want to push it. Owl, isn't that the ones that got clapped the other day? Yesterday? I know they said they had some update this morning. And SPY's just going straight up. Where is your boy? Oh, the apples are up too. Tell me why. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the apples if you have them, but you can make the apples free too. Intel rip. Oh yeah, Intel did get some pretty good candles there. Everything's up right now, you guys. Everything is this is different than the last couple days. It's more staples, healthcare not doing as much, but like literally the Dow's about to go red. But your tech, your Google, these are some pretty epic moves to start off. Tell me why. Yeah, anything like store related isn't doing good. I mean, even TJX, I don't know, maybe people after the earnings are like, it's not that bad, but TJX starting to get a bid. You could double dip possibly on that one. But if anything, it's going to, I think anything tech related is looking awesome. Except for Amazon, but then that is kind of more store consumer. All right, well, we'll see, man. Once these spreads tighten up, I'm down to make some more moves. But till then, you'll have to just give me some free shit. Yeah, Meta is the one that started off the worst and stayed the worst. But, like, Google is on fire. NVDA, too. You've already moved half of the earnings priced in. So, again, it was down 12% on the damn... 12% on the damn week, but... Or last 2 weeks. But now, yeah, you did half of that earnings move practically right there. Broadcom's going up, too. Broadcom's up 2.8. And then, is that TJX waking up? And then VST. LRCX. NVDA again. Wells Fargo. Or who was it, dude? Capital One. They have some of the exposure to some of that shit that's been going on in private credit. Yeah, they were warning about a couple things. I don't know if you guys noticed those candles. But, like, yeah, that doesn't look like every other bank. So there's a Rackle. Oh, no way. Those are still red, huh? Want it long trade. Reddit too. Yeah, Square gave up that too. It hasn't moved. MP's climbing again. I mean, yeah, they were up 7 in the morning, sold it off, and then there's NVDA. Ta-da! All right, there's a cheap NVDA out there. I mean, that's the thing. So I'm moving shit to the cheap one and just calling it a day. I think I'm gonna be done until the end of the day now. Want it that way. Yeah, bigger spreads though. So even, damn, it's still anything near the money has a very large spread. It's actually quite fascinating. The out of the monies have tight spreads, so it's gonna look a certain way, but I just don't think those are gonna move as much. I think those spreads will be tight, and then once it moves up, you're not gonna get the same. I don't think it's gonna hit the same. Yeah, and then Broadcom. So do you guys notice what's happening right now, right? Do you guys see this day of NVIDIA earnings? You've started off, your cash open has been everybody hammering all of the beaten down tech. You guys are aware of that, right? Do you guys not? Do you see this? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like 4 or 5% right off the bat. Like, are you watching this, my friends? I hope you are. Yeah, it's just all literally they're hammering everything tech related. It's either going to keep going, but it's going to stop eventually because this is quite large. Listen, no small, Habibi, no small. You know? Alright, even NVDA, Apple, all of them, Habibi, all of them. One in long train. Yeah, I cut too early. I made it free way too. I could have got way more for free. Fuck. They moved it slow. They needed me to free it up. How does this translate into a beat? No, not at all. This has nothing to do with earnings. People may feel a certain way, but you could ask anybody here who's been through enough earnings. The pre-earnings move means absolutely nothing. If anything, it's a bunch of crackheads. Everyone's getting excited and feeling a certain way. The only thing that I could explain this type of move with is that everything's been beaten down for the last like 2.5 weeks in terms of momentum in tech. So I would be hard pressed, and I would warn you not to assume this is going to be a beat, because what's going to happen if it ends up being really good, you're going to be like, oh, I knew it, I should have known. But then if it goes bad, you're going to be like, oh, it was a scam. Everyone does this. That's why earnings gets quite confusing. So I would make up your mind. That's why for me, we've been positioning on all this shit early. I took a couple now. There's some cheaper earnings plays you could go after, but at the same time, I mean, welcome to Chop City. Once again, I'll make it free early or I'll sell it early, but yeah, I wouldn't think too much on it, and because once the next day comes around, that's where you're gonna be good. Oh, what fun it is to trade in a long-term open stock. Hey. No, the puts aren't as cheap. This is killing the puts. It's so odd, bro. So again, think about what we opened up talking about. I was telling you, I said move index finally moved, and go to the bathtub video. I was telling you guys yesterday in the bathtub, I was like, well, oddly enough, people started buying puts finally yesterday. The last like 2 weeks, nobody was buying puts. They were just selling stock. So they weren't buying out of the money puts. And then now everybody buys out of the money puts. And then now it fucking rips. So and we were saying, just watch out. That could have been the contrarian indicator. But unfortunately, it doesn't mean shit. Because then after this report, this is just going to fuck up the gap between all these prices and premium. Long-term stocks, long-term stocks, long-term all the way. Oh, what fun it is to trade and get a long-term play. Hey. The gap and trap today, I mean, you might give up some of it, but it's looking pretty melty at this point. Unless there's like bad news, I think you're going to stay a little bit more elevated. This is a very solid open. Or what's going to happen, you'll stay up, but then value won't do good. That I could see. That's going to be your trap essentially, where it's going to be concentrated in like bigger tech and then mid-tier tech, and then some of the value dividend ones, they're not going to be there. Yes, lithium is going up. I don't know why. Again, there was energy, right? I see a bunch of headlines from him not too long ago, but yeah. Yeah, bro, LAR's up 12%. Jeez, that's breaking out again. Oh, the peach is breaking out. Bradley Frizzle and the peach, ladies and gentlemen. Happy NVDA day. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. My friend. My brother. Oh, my nation. My peach nation. Oh, I hope you... Merry Christmas. Okay, I don't know, man. Maybe that's that peach signal, man. That's going to be a checkpoint somewhere. Because you are... Dude, that was crazy. The peach every day for several years, half a decade is crazy. The market opening up, just launching is pretty crazy. I think it's a good day, Chad. I think it's a good day. Alrighty. Long-term stocks. Long-term stocks. Long-term all the way. Moran says it's possible the Fed could shrink its balance sheet again in the future. That's bearish. But then again, he's more bullish. All right, well, there's NVDA, Apple, all of them, all the big tech. Like I'm saying, there's some big tech. I don't want to give you guys the play, but I'm telling you, there's cheap big tech that correlates directly to NVIDIA. And you could play cheap big tech, aka they're a fraction of the price compared to some of the options you're seeing on everything else. Because again, we already had NVIDIA. Again, the NVIDIAs yesterday are just ripping. So, and again, any of those, if you bought, depending on where you bought them on the dip, those are doing good. And then Google is insane. Google's overpriced, I think, because I'm surprised those plays even hit, but that's a very solid move. So watch out, though. The moment it stops going straight up, and if you just meander for a couple of hours, that's what's gonna kill the the premiums, essentially. It won't kill them. They'll just start moving slow at a certain pace. Moran says he supported decision for balance sheet runoff. I didn't find the horn, no. Dude, I have a bag of horns and my cleaners moved it. And I don't know where they put it. That's it. I forget to look for it. But then I haven't found it. Well, that's what I don't know, guys. Like, you guys know it's only been 30 minutes. They don't, this is, and a couple of you have brought it up already. But, like, this has nothing to do with earnings. Like, it has everything to do with earnings anticipation, but just keep in mind, just because, like, a stock moves insanely large on the day of earnings and everyone gets hyped, it means absolutely nothing in terms of what's going to happen. So NVIDIA could do really good, or they might just do really bad. The only thing I like with NVIDIA is the 500 billion guidance from last time. And I think it's going to come up on earnings, and then people are going to feel a certain way. Long-term stocks, long-term stocks, long-term all the way. How much would that be? It's only been 34 minutes. Has it live on BBG. This whole move could be killed. It'll be killed in one candle. Are those still down? That's crazy. everything so slow? I feel like everything is still very slow on some of my end. Alright, even Google ripping. Yeah, just find the cheap one and you'll be fine. Oh, I forgot I still have those other ones. Oh, actually, Apple came down. And Google. Google's still up. NVIDIA's chilling. Broadcom. Glue is a faith-based AI system? Like, what do you mean? Like a Jesus AI? Is it it's IPOing? Dude, I saw a word they said they want to, the church is trying to reach people, so they want to make Jesus like Bible AIs or something like that. I don't know. I saw that the other day. And then, bro, why do I keep forgetting? I'm like, dog, the Pope is from Chicago. I always keep forgetting that every time I see Mr. Leo. Yeah, he's from Chicago. Long-term stocks, long-term all the way. I can't believe this is still, I mean, give it another hour if it holds up like this, but the real question is going to be when staples move or get killed. Because those are all staying pinned, but actually some of them are down a decent amount. Well, now Microsoft's only a quarter. Even same thing, I think, with Meta. Did they come up? Yeah, Meta's still down 3/4. IREN. Leaders is based in Boulder. Glues Holdings. Is that the one that Mr. Pat the Rat is part of? There's MRK. They're kind of popping. That's a value that's actually holding up. Yeah, dude, 1% unless it's 1.5 on the NASDAQ. It's actually massive. That's why it's interesting, because it's been it's really off of the same shit from last night, and like I think some of the NVIDIA stuff. Yeah, former Intel Pat Gelsinger. I know exactly what that is. Yeah, I'm not too big of a fan. And speaking of the devil, Intel is on the high. I meant to type that in. All right, it's kind of chilling out. Even fucking Intel launched up. So yeah, bro, there's something brewing. But I also just think this is crackheads buying ahead of the earnings. And then, because remember what this is what I was trying to explain to you guys yesterday. This is why you get the chop. So take a look. I need to find that one thing, the bullish bearish index. It's all related to sentiment, but like pretty much when sentiment hits a certain point, it like triggers a buy almost every single time for like computers and like older investors and think even money markets. But then, yeah, every time it hits a low, it'll bounce a little bit, but then the system or the problem will still persist. And then you just keep doing that back and forth until you finally work through any and all of the drama. So yeah, that's kind of the problem. Long term all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a long-term open sleigh. No, I think it's just cushion. That's all. I think it's a giant cushion that already moved half of the earnings right there. So now it could get trapped. At least NVIDIA can. But then again, NVIDIA moved down a ton leading into this. So that's why. But then I just think people are piling in at various intervals because it becomes attractive. But then until we get rid of the situation, or maybe we'll find out at the Fed minutes, like we talked about here in the morning, if the Fed minutes aren't too bad and they don't highlight the same bearishness, then that might be a little better than not. Who's the other one? All right, man, you're doing that over. TJX kind of a little bit. Again, Intel's actually looking really good. Well, yeah, extreme fear is part of that with the sentiment. That's why it's like it hits certain points. But there's one where it's like, once you only have like 20% of names in the market doing well, it's usually always a buy indicator. And then we kind of had that. We had 80% of the market decline really hard in the last couple weeks. And variously, it triggers these signals, and then people buy in, and then you still have the same problem. And then people buy in, then you still have the same problem. And then you just keep repeating that over and over again. But then if we get good news, I mean, Apple had the good news with the sales yesterday. You have the now NVIDIA, Tesla, all the Saudi stuff, but all you need is good earnings. And then like we talked about yesterday, if the good earnings come in, that'll help ease some of these private credit. Because essentially, if the NVIDIA earnings is good, doesn't give any warning signs for the whole industry, the big companies, they're going to chill out a little bit. But then the small company, then everyone's going to say pretty much the small company's doing bad. They're going to say it's isolated events and yibbity bobbity boo. So that's kind of the idea here. But I guess the only real risk right now is that everybody, I mean, wait till more people wake up, but everybody's looking at this as if it now, I mean, look, it only took 1 hour, 45 minutes. How many of you were like, well, yeah, this is good earnings now? That's the problem, is that everybody's looking at the price action to now assume, but hey, man, you never know. You never know. And like we said yesterday, everybody bought fucking puts finally. That was a material difference in the last couple weeks. People were not buying puts and out of the money puts. They were just liquidating. So, and then finally everybody goes in on the options, and then we get a fucking 1% rip, 1.5 in 45 minutes on big volume as well. UVXY on the low. So again, I'm glad we made even volatility plays free. I had one set I didn't make free. And then Tesla's even going up. Yes, tomorrow is the non-farms. But did you guys not see the data this morning? None of the data was bad. Like I was telling you, I think people think they were trying to hide it, but I think it was good data. Like even I think we had a trade surplus on one of them. There's another piece that wasn't too hot, but it's like most of the data has actually been more solid than it has been weak. %85 of the economy is getting a massive productivity shift. Has it? Pfizer. Bro, Pfizer is buying so many companies, and I hope they don't waste all their cash. I don't even think they have enough cash for all of them. That's the risk even with NVO, is if NVO starts buying and then they don't really have good purchases. But we don't know yet if Pfizer's purchases are going to be solid. But still, Ford's starting to come up. Again, the Nexperia stuff got settled. So that's good for the automakers. All right, man, the high ticker, all I've seen on the low ticker is a couple of value staples. But it's the high ticker with a lot of gas. Again, mid-tier to big tech. Let me get you guys a checkup. Oh, what? Yeah, I think you guys will be surprised. Dow Jones is 16 green, 14 in the red, barely above 50-50. NASDAQ, 61 green, 40 in the red. You're barely above 50-50 right now. And then SPY, 247 green, 250 in the red. So this is all Google. This is all NVIDIA. And then everything in between. Automakers are going again. Netflix on the low. Habibi. Dell even. Yeah, so dude, there's a lot of names down right now. So this is just a fat outsized move on the bigger tech. But look at the high ticker. It's all of them going now. Dog, this has been a crazy hour, crazy 45 minutes. It could be good news, bad news, or if everybody got so bearish, you know, everybody got really bearish here as of late, that if the news comes in, like the data comes in good, that might calm people down. But it's going to be a mix. You're going to have to deal with earnings. And remember, this morning, the retail like earnings, like, you know, Lowe's was good, even though you've had bad Home Depot. TJ Maxx killed it. Target was just pretty soft, but it wasn't like, you know, it didn't show you signs of a, you know, a terrible bifurcated economy, that K-shape everybody keeps talking about. And so I would keep your eyes on big tech. Again, Meta's the last one red, essentially, out of all those. But, yeah, this is phenomenal. This is all big tech, though. So that's your risk, is that don't be fooled by I wouldn't be playing the S&P right now if I were you. Do you guys understand? You should be. If you really want to capture the upside, you should have already had some, might I add. But I would go for individual names, because literally it's 50-50 right now. 60-40. Best case scenario with the NASDAQ. So you're just getting way more outsized moves. That's why the Dow's barely green. Like, watch, equal weight is fucking barely moving. Equal weight's a quarter. It's starting to launch now, but equal weight's a quarter while SPY's up 1 and NASDAQ's up almost 2%. So I hope you feel me. And then MP's still going, more mineral plays. Again, we were just talking, there could be that revival there, but I don't know if it'll happen at end of the year or next year. Very, very, very strong, Habibi. You know? Long-term stocks, long-term stocks, long-term all the way. Yeah, bro, even LAR. See, some of these are even breaking out, bro. When was the last time you saw a fucking new all-time high on a mineral play? You see what I'm saying? Like LAC? Yeah, no, it's LAR, bro. That's weird. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Think about all that momentum crush. When was the last time you saw one of these things hit a new all-time high recently? Like today, last week. You haven't seen that in a minute. So yeah, that one does stand out. But for now, like I'm telling you, this is all big tech. So it's 50-50. I'd be cautious in that sense. Some of them are coming down. Dell's getting a candle. Meta's taking another candle. All right, bonds are even stabilizing here, so maybe it ends. Because watch out, bonds are chilling out. While we started ripping, bonds were dying. So just go for the inverse of that. And then why is J&J ripping like that? Hi. Not too many of those are up. Does Intel guidance or NVIDIA give a nod to Intel? It could, and it just depends on if they could announce like more activity with them, but we'll see. Intel, the real next driver on Intel is if we find out how the SEC approves their earnings. Remember, the government was shut down, so we don't know. Walmart in talks to acquire startup R&A data. That was 2 minutes ago. Apple's taking another lead. Whoa, that was fake. Qualcomm. But yeah, so watch, it's not, a couple of names are coming down here on big tech. Boeing's selling off, but then yeah, Apple and a few others just keep going. But yeah, I'm telling you, just all big tech right now. It's very concentrated. That's why it feels pretty big. It's because these big names are making big moves, but it's not as if everybody is doing that. Like I'm saying, a nice 60-40 here. Apple's getting some good candles though right now. How are the premiums on that one? You give me good premium, I take. All right, I'll give you one. Do you guys want one? But if I tell you it's going to get fucked up. That's what I'm worried about. I don't want to overcrowd it. That's why I hope you guys just take the cheap one. We've already talked about it. There's a cheap big tech that would benefit off NVIDIA. If you could figure it out on your own, you'll probably do better. Because if I tell you and it gets overcrowded while everybody's FOMOing on these, it's going to fuck it up. So you're better off if I don't tell you and you find it. So I encourage you to think about NVIDIA. Think about if NVIDIA was good. If it was bad, it would kill it. So if NVIDIA had a bad earnings, NVIDIA would get clobbered. This would get clobbered. But if NVIDIA has a good earnings, they would do tremendously better. And they're right now at a much cheaper. A lot of those plays are going to be a lot cheaper, especially with how it is. But when this play gets hot, it gets really hot as well. So it's not like this isn't a small company I'm talking about. So if you could figure it out, you're going to be better off. Okay? Not a recommendation. But if I tell you it and it gets overcrowded, that might remember, look at what happened this morning and yesterday. Everybody crowded into puts. Do you understand? Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? We were talking about it, even in the bathtub. And look at what happens. So you get what I'm saying, bro? Just, you gotta really, I need you to think hard on this, because it's like, yeah, if everyone overcrowds, that's not favorable in these modern markets. If you could get the undercrowded play with the right theory until the actual juice hits, that's how you're gonna make a lot. But then if it's overcrowded, it's gonna be a lot harder. And then usually a lot of people trade against it, or the computers, and the overcrowding is usually gonna be a contrarian indicator. So that's for all of you. If all of you listen, if you can find that one, it's good. I took that one right off the morning, and then I made my NVDAs free. But I made my NVDAs free too early. GPCR? Yo, GPCR is a cancer drug, right? Again, a lot of biotechs. That one's actually still going. Long-term stocks, long-term stocks, long-term all the way. Blink twice if it's Navitas or APLD. So I'm probably going to ban you because you're confusing motherfuckers, right? I said big ass company, right? And you bring me what? What do you bring to the chat with your ability to chat? You bring us Invitas at 1.8 billion, the stock that we bought at $1, okay? And then a $2 billion Applied Digital. So no, those are not it. But so at least you could rule those out, but it cost him his membership. So yeah, don't confuse the chat so that you could pump your play. You see what I'm saying? I think there's a genuine good play for earnings there. That's related to what I told you. It will only rip if NVIDIA does good. But yeah, so that's why I want good quality, my friends. It's a big name company. All of you know about it. Don't hit me with that bullshit. StockX partners with Kalshi. You can now make bets on the price of Labubus and sneakers. Yeah, I wouldn't even try to guess. I would just figure it out and make the play. Or you wait now because things are already up a lot, but it's either going to keep running or you wait for the first pullback and then take them. Man, Apple. BB. So those plays are already up. I mean, that one we got yesterday. I mean, you could make guesses in the chat, but I think, like I'm saying, I think you're better off just doing it. I'm not going to tell you even if you guess it right. So maybe that'll make it. So think about productivity. I would just try to hone in on it and just think who would have more to gain or lose off of this, of what's going on with NVDA. Think twice if he's banned. He's banned. Yeah, I think you saw it. All right. So SPY's coming down. I don't know. It's either NVIDIA chilling out. There's still other names moving, but remember, it's all the size of the big tech right now. Long-term stocks. Long-term stocks. Long-term all the way. TKO on the high. All right, man, that's your first little sets of red. So just watch out, because it's either going to take a bigger drop down, or it's going to do, what did we do the other day? Kind of one of these where it like rips up and then it like kind of just meanders near like the first high, or it's going to take another leg and do that. But yeah, you're still pretty beaten down, man. It's just the NASDAQ right now and these big tech sizing that is taking you home. No, stop asking me what I'm holding, CJ. You kept asking me that with hymns and other plays, so that's your final warning. I don't want to ban you, but it doesn't matter if I'm holding it or not. What matters is you getting it early and you making a decision. So, yeah, that's my answer to your question. Hopefully you could understand. Most people in the locked-in are aware of this idea right now. ATKR. Whoa, what the fuck is that? ATKR. 8%? Dog, that does not look small. Oh, there is nothing cheap on that chain. What the fuck is this? They 580'd it already, man. Oh, I got him to give me one! Oh, those fuckers. Yeah, I don't know. I overpaid on it for now, but that's too big of a move, dog. It's hella liquid, though. Hold on. I didn't get filled bad at all. So that's why I'm not too bothered by that. But usually, it's off too small of a fucking transaction, but it's holding 6. I feel like they're going to halt it. ATKR, is it halted? I think it is halted. Is it? I don't know. Let me check. No, it's not. Let me see if I can make that one. Or is my shit lagging? No, it's still not halted. That's too... Be careful on that one. It's too small of a transaction. It's hella liquid. I just got fucking baited by the 10% in one candle. But yeah, it's not too bad. They fill. The spreads were wide. I just put in a low order and it filled. It's an energy power company. They had earnings this morning. I know they have earnings on November 20th before open. Be careful. That one could be a little scammy. It's still moving though. I don't know what the fuck it is. They had drama fiduciary duty 2 weeks ago. All I see is the earning things. It's said to explore sale. Oh, there you go. That's what I'm saying. All right, maybe we might be in business. The plays are up. Again, I can't believe it filled me there. It was 490 and I just put in a low bid and I got filled. All right, that's 200% free. I wanted to make it free just in case. Because like I'm saying, it felt a little scammy. Dude, it hit 9% on that candle. But yeah, there's just no trades. But yeah, exploring sale. Activist pressure. The play's already ripped. Long-term stocks. Long-term stocks. Long-term all the way. Hassett, I wouldn't say inflation was transitory if it wasn't. What would you say? Oil numbers came out. Yeah, you had a Jensen post by Mr. Donald Trump on Truth, but I don't think it's important. You might have missed the activist news. But yeah, that one's not it. Chad ban index is up today. No, it's not actually. It's not that bad. I've cleared out most people, so that's why you guys don't notice how much better it is. I love it. I feel free. I feel easy. You know, most people are small corrections here and there, but oh man, we're doing great. And now we've gotten rid of all of the other stuff. Even yesterday, you know, I freed the Chad. They did pretty well. That's why I lowered the delay, so you guys could thank the people. Except the one guy with the ugly baby, I couldn't. That was just weird. And he was like, I know how to clown. I'm like, bitch, I don't even know you. That's just, I think you just are watching me and being extremely hateful. That's weird. But yeah, other than that, it was, but you know, the other reactions were good enough to lower the delay. And like I'm saying, if you guys have, if you want to talk and ask questions, I mean, you got to ask yourself, is what's going to make you more money? Listening and turning it into value, or like you don't need to say something. It's about, again, getting info, getting it pretty early is going to help you out, even with or without a delay. And if you make sure you're, you know, think about it. NVDA, you guys look at NVDA. I was telling you this when we were hearing the speech with the prince. That's when we even talked about the Apple and other stuff. And all of them happened the next day. I was telling you guys Netflix the day before. That was a 12-hour play. And all of those have hit. So it's not really, if you want the real time, you're going to get these plays like the ATKR. But like I'm saying, man, I just think if you are listening and really applying and focusing on, you know, not just here to hang out, not, you know, I'm sorry that I'm entertaining and you think it's about a community of entertaining and us being nice to each other. It's like, no, I want you all to perform very well. I want you all to do good in life and to make sure that you live up to the results that we have already proven through several thousand people who have done very well. And that's what I want more of. So it doesn't require chatting. And at that point, if you want the chatting, you should have been making so much off of it where it's actually offering that for you. Because of him, they're going to think it's you. No, you got a cute little baby. See, I don't know. Isn't it funny how the cuteness reflects off the parents? Right? That's why he had an ugly attitude. I'm like, I feel bad for the kid. I think you got a good attitude. So I'm like, I feel happy for the kid. It's funny how it works. I know. Because all babies look like little aliens, you know? But it's definitely I mean, some are. I mean, hey, you know. Shit, some are. There is some objective ones, but a Unity, they had the Fortnite news this morning. My mom sent me a baby picture of me. I want to post my baby picture, but then you guys are gonna fucking like AI it and be like, this is him. But like my mom sent me one of me the other day. I look like a mob boss. Like I'm like hella fat and chubby. And I'm even my girl said that. She said I looked like I was running the mob as I was like 1 year old, bro. And I just had I have a hella mean mug. IBM. I don't know why Bitcoin is getting clobbered. That's not a good sign, brothers. You're lucky gold is up. It could be isolated. But if fucking gold liquidates, I would get ready to change your mind on all of this. Hot tag. Google, Apple's holding. They're coming down though a little bit. Long-term stocks. Long term all the way. MasterCard on the low and CME. Long term all the way. ON. IBM starting to wake up. Was there a quantum headline, or am I just fucking hallucinating? But yeah, IBM a little bit off the bottom. This one look good, Habibi. Oh, there's XY. I didn't take it, bro. I wanted it. You guys should have fucking added liquidity. But I hated the fucking spreads on. I don't even think they moved. Yeah. The one I would have got wouldn't have moved. Bullshit. Because I would have got filled on the ask. It is very hard. I'm telling you, I would argue 9 out of 10 adults would find that sitting alone in a room with no stimulation is one of the hardest things to do. I don't think they could do it. That's what it's actually wicked, bro. So, you know, if you have that ability, I would do it, dude. I would do it. I would try. I would get good at it. And you'd be surprised the peace it creates. I forgot the philosopher who said it, but you know, most problems are with people are that they can't sit alone in a room by themselves in silence. We will wage war against ourselves. On the soy candle, I'm not familiar. Yeah, I like the square from the morning. They're going to have the event, I think, in 30 minutes. But yeah, the options are terrible on that. There wasn't really anything. IRM, don't they have a meeting? I don't know, but yeah, they are down 5%. Or they could have earnings, I think. Dude, wasn't IRM at the beginning of the year? Yeah, that was last year. It was at 128. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, it did take a little hit. Google, NVDA, Microsoft, Meta, Oracle. No, who's the other one? Apple. Earnings already happened. Coco. They had news yesterday. It's not tech. All right, MSTR, though, that Bitcoin shit. Bitcoin's the first one. I'll keep up gold. If gold liquidates and goes red, then yeah, well, there's a little baby candle. But, yeah, if gold goes red, it's not good. Yeah, you had the Jensen comment 5 minutes ago, but it wasn't, or it's like 10 minutes ago at this point. I don't think it was, I think it was just the president, you know, kind of just posting. Funny guy. Who was it? You want IRM? Let me see. Because they already had earnings. I don't see anything on it. It could just be the bonds. I don't know if that's what it is, but yeah, something's up with that. Who was homeboy? What was that play we just hit? ATKR. Those are still up. That's the crazy part, Habibi. All right, everything is kind of starting to slip now. Some more than others, but you're chilling a little bit. Like I'm saying, it's either going to be like a bigger launch down, or you're just going to kind of hold this for a decent amount of time. Who was it? I think, bro, Bitcoin's the only thing that looks ugly. Like we said in the morning, you had half of the names down, but it's not like this was all concentrated in bigger tech names, but it's, yeah, Bitcoin doesn't look good right now. That's your first stomp. But then again, they could be going risk off on Bitcoin and moving that money elsewhere. But yeah, like I said, if gold comes down, that'll probably be more ominous than not. Long-term stocks. DVR is on, really? What? You said you dated a girl that sat in the room quiet and after 4 minutes started crying? All right, man. I think you're just dating psychos. That's not the fuck. That's I don't know, man. That's scary. Man, that's why people scare me sometimes, man. You know, you just gotta, yeah. Bitcoin at 90,000. How will we recover? I still don't even get me started on the Bitcoin, man. All right, everything's starting to come down more than less. They're taking little legs at a time. Diego. But yeah, this is big if you look at it. Like even Google 303 to 300. I mean, that's what? That's 1.5% in like 5 minutes. Oh damn it, Jim Cramer on TJX. That one sucked, dude. That was one of the best earnings I've seen this morning. That one's probably gonna go tomorrow. Just that's how it's kind of been. You know, any of these plays we were like, damn, that's good. And then intraday it does nothing, and then the next day it'll go. Fucking Jim. All you need right now is Jim to be like, I don't want Bitcoin. And then you guys will be good. That's all you need. You do that, you'll be perfect. Yeah, it did. I think it. That's why I said I remember it. I remember it had one of those big sells. One of them, it did it 2 days later. The other one, it did it like towards the end of the day. Now lows. So like, look, some of these earnings plays that were good and didn't move with all the big tech in the earning, they're starting to come back. Oh, it's a short report on IRM. Well, yeah, that didn't hit my news wire, so that could just be the people going after it. The dollar's up 0.5%? Holy shit. Yeah, bro, even the dollar's kind of breaking out right now. Yeah, you need fucking NVDA to save you. That's really what everything's going to rely on today. Because like I'm saying, if it's even those same companies that are bad already, they'll get clobbered if they do bad, and then if they do good, you're fine. But yeah, you have the dollar up. Hassett says every Fed candidate understands independence. We're sliding too much? No, I mean, it's, remember, I was saying in the morning, half of the names were down. So let's go back to the checkup. Yeah, Dow Jones 16 red, 14 green. That's the same. NASDAQ is 56 green, 45 red. There was like 60 green tops. And then SPY had more names red. 298 now are in the red. 30 more names flipped red. And then 205 in the green. But look, even on some of these moves, the spreads are just staying the same. They're widening the spreads, but it's not changing too much. So like I'm saying, it's either if you give back all of this, it'll look fucking ugly. But if it kind of just meanders, you're just going to burn time ahead of earnings here. Zelensky meeting with Erdogan was very productive. Didn't they say there's like a secret, they're secretly working with Russia to end the war or something? It sounded odd, but it was good news. And then Eli Lilly now, wait a minute. So CEO, if XLP, XLV starts to come up, that might have just been a pump fake for big tech. And then really just watch the video, it moved half of the earnings right there. But yeah, your spreads are still kind of a problem, guy. That's what happens on these moves. They're massive, but then the spread, they're just lowering the bid, keeping the ask the same. But then that's just widening everything. Very difficult to execute. Long-term stocks. Solar plays are up. Those, again, lithium plays. It's chilling out, though. You're back to VWAP. So, see, it's either we're going to bounce off VWAP and keep holding this gradually, but if you break VWAP and get back to the lower level, it's still early, so that'll be a much quicker move. Well, everybody did load up to the downside this morning. That's what sucks, because now, if you bought a bunch of fucking puts yesterday, that little move, even if it comes down, you're just going to go, you might not even get to break even. That's what happened on the, remember, Chop City, man. Chop City. That's what happened on, was it this day? Yeah, remember that move? And then on Friday, that's why it took till like here to get back to green. And then, that's what I was saying yesterday. And then we made them free. The good puts, you made 50, 100% on them. But the bad ones, you have to wait an extra day and a half and go another like 0.5% lower just to get your money back, or make a small gain. Bitcoin is down 30% from high to low. High to low. Oh, weird. I don't have Bitcoin up. I need a water. I'm parched. GPCR is still going. But yeah, dude, Bitcoin's the only ugly. That was the first one to die. That was remember, you were even hitting some other highs while Bitcoin was still Bitcoining away. Yeah, so you already moved down 2 fucking points. You went up 6 points, in 45 minutes, and then you're down now 2 points in like what? Another 30 or 25? I took DVR off. You guys just got to refresh it. The morning, who was it? Google, that straight green. You'd never see that, dude. So, like, Google's kind of been straight red here. There's a couple of green candles, but, dude, that was 4% with one green candle. I even want to say it was 3-something without any red. That was insane. All right, man, you're coming back down. So, remember now, if it goes down, are you going to say NVIDIA earnings are bad? So, that was, I was telling you in the board, I was like, that's the only bad part about this, is everybody is like, they started assuming that this was going to mean something about earnings. But this could have just been some of the hype. And now that fucked up all the premiums. So now you're just going to walk away with this with wide-ass spreads. Some are a little bit tighter, actually. So not too bad, but yeah, it's not going to be easy after, again, 1% move in an hour, and then now 30 minutes to give it back. As long as it keeps moving that pace, so if we go back up 1%, dude, that, or 0.5% on the NASDAQ, that'll be fine. But if it slows down from here and we start chopping around, oh, it's going to be disgusting. NVIDIA's not too bad, though. Those premiums are still green from the morning. No, I brought this up the other day with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is well aware that easy financial conditions are disappearing. From the repos and all the way down to QT, and just what's going to happen next year. You're not going to get as many rate cuts. That's it. If you're fighting to get the final set of rate cuts right now, then you're not going to get just next year, 2026, 2027, there's going to be substantially less rate cuts. Are you all aware of that? So, look, here's the chart. Remember, 24, you had the most amount of rate cuts since, 08. 25, you had the most amount of global rate cuts, right? Everybody was cutting rates all around the globe. So now next year, you're going to get a lot less, and then by 2027, you're going to go back to very, very very tight conditions in that sense of you're not going to get global easing like you have been. So, yeah, maybe unless Japan changes that, but people really wouldn't want that. But yeah, that's kind of what I think it's highlighting. That's why I think Bitcoin just gobbled that up earlier than everybody else. Is gold taking a candle down? Both chats are talking about it. Uh-oh, fuck. It's not, give it a little bit more, but yeah, it's not a good sign. I wouldn't call that the liquidation candle yet, but it's pretty close. Remember yesterday we had one of those right here? It was about the same. But if that takes another, give me another $1, I'd freak out. But yeah, that's not good, Habibi. Oh shit. Today's the 19th. That's why. Nah, some of those premiums are a little juiced. Anything short-term on gold is killed. But yeah, I don't like that candle, but it's not the one yet. So again, everything, you got to think about it. Everything was already down except the good names. So this isn't as bad in the sense, but now you're just not getting Google, Apple, Microsoft supporting you. Do you get what I'm saying? But even Apple's holding up pretty well. Again, NVIDIA gave up like what, extra 1% from the top. Oracle came down. They're still decent. Who's the other one? Broadcom. Yeah, so you're just not getting supported by these anymore. And then the other ones are just making their way downtown, selling crypto, and it's going. Liquidate, go. Liquidate, go. I will go 1,000 days if I could just buy puts. So yeah, you are making your way downtown now. U.S. tariffs have little impact on Brazil. Boltiger. All right, I'm gonna go get me some agua. I might get some gummy bears. This is David Sachs.
Good at it. And of course, you know, when we have an economic recession or we have a contraction,
David Sullivan?
You're going to see who's better at it
sorry,
and who's worse.
I got crypto on my mind.
We spend a lot of time on this because we've been doing this for, for 40 years. So we've been in these businesses
Dollar's
for a long,
ripping.
long
That's what I don't like.
But I think discipline, risk management.
It started with
very, very
Bitcoin, and then we said we don't like the dollar. We said watch for gold, and now, yeah.
Until you have
here we are. Well, follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. Go to Real Cult News on Twitter, and you will find the earnings preview for NVIDIA.
I have to ask you, because Congress passed a bill to release the full Epstein files. There have been executives across industries, including finance, that have been named in some of the correspondence that come out. Goldman has been caught up in this, just in terms of the GC, the general counsel, and her correspondence with Epstein. Are you concerned at all about additional fallout here?
Our general counsel ran for a long time the white-collar litigation practice at Latham & Watkins. She's an excellent lawyer, and the organization relies on her guidance every single day.
Sticking with Washington, because there's a lot that's been going on in terms of regulation. And yesterday, we heard from Fed Governor Michael Barr saying that he thinks basically this rollback in bank supervision that's been happening under his successor, that he thinks that's weakening this Fed supervisory role.
Hear me? Am I still live? Bro, they just, oh, well, hold on.
Given the fact that you get more of a trajectory heading into October, which we're not really going to get, because it'll be really messy and we're not going to get an unemployment rate.
So good news. Tell me what's next in AI factories, Jensen.
There's a beautiful story about how Saudi Arabia's building AI refineries and now building AI factories,
so
oil refineries to AI factories.
I thought they did the other day.
I've said that AI is an infrastructure, and the reason for that is, of course, we understand AI from the perspective of the technology and how it's revolutionizing every industry. Digital intelligence, of course, has applications into every field. And so it's going to be used by every company, every industry, every country. In that way, it's foundational, and therefore it's part of infrastructure. What is new about AI from a computer science perspective is that the way computing was done in the past was largely retrieval-based computing. Somebody typed in a story, or somebody created a piece of art, or came up with 4 versions of a digital ad, or it's all pre-built by somebody, which is then using a system to retrieve the appropriate version for you. It's a retrieval-based computing model. Hadoop and many of the frameworks and operating systems that have passed, all designed to retrieve the appropriate information for you. But today, software is going to be generated in real time. It's generative. Based on the context, based on the circumstance, based on who you are, based on the problem you asked it, based on your prompt, it will generate unique content for you. Every single time, for everybody, it's unique. When you use Grok, every time you use it is different. Just based on the based on the prompt that you give it, and based on the circumstance, and so therefore, it used to be retrieval based. Today, it's generative, and if it's generative, then And every time is different.
Pepsi,
then you need
Clorox
AI
on the
all over
low,
world
value.
to generate the content.
Again,
in
this
real
is
time,
Jensen
which is the reason
talking
why
right
you need
now.
AI factories. And this is a unique
I thought this was
way of
from
doing
last night, but
computation,
apparently
but
it's
the
live.
benefit, of course, is that everything isn't preconceived and
You guys, I want to buy a
and
fucking Blackwell.
contextually sensible.
Should I go buy a Blackwell?
So AI
I almost FOMO'd into
factories
it
and
on
robotics,
Monday.
and we heard it yesterday from His Royal Highness, his vision, how to augment
Or I think I want to buy the
workforce
DGX
with roughly
Spark.
tens of millions
I didn't
of
realize
robotics
that's an
to be
NVIDIA
able
computer.
to infuse the next wave of productivity and progress.
What do you think, Rick?
Well,
Rick is
this
telling me
scares
to
a
buy
lot of folks
3090s.
here when it comes to the future of jobs.
But I want a
So
Blackwell.
Let's hear about your thoughts, Elon and Jensen, on that.
Sure. Well, if you say like in the long term, where will things end up?
In the long term,
I don't know what long
I
term
don't
is.
know.
Maybe
I
it's
don't know what long term would be. But
10, 20 years, something like that.
20
For
something
me,
like
that's long
that.
term.
It's long term.
My prediction is
My
that work will
prediction
be
is
optional.
that work will be optional.
Optional.
Optional. Yeah. Optional. Yeah. Thank
so-
you. Clap all that. Thank you.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
Take all that. Yeah.
I mean, it'll be like
And then you'll take
playing
a Tesla
sports or a
robot
video game or
to
something
school.
like that.
And then the Tesla will
if
take
you want to
school.
work, you know, in the same way, like you can,
Like the same way
you
you
can
like-
go to the
like-
store
like
and
go to the
just
store
buy
and, like, buy
some
groceries
vegetables, or you
or
can grow
strawberries.
vegetables
You
in
can
your
grow it
backyard.
yourself.
It's much harder to grow vegetables in your backyard, but some people still do it because they like growing vegetables. That will be what work is like, optional. And between now and then, there's actually a lot of work to get to that point. And I always recommend people read Ian Banks' culture books to get a sense for what
I know the
probable
Spark, but then they have the Dell one.
positive AI future is like.
They have the
interestingly,
Dell
in those
GB10.
books,
They
money
have
is
the
no
DGX
longer-
Spark.
doesn't
Those
exist.
are like, or the Apple
It's kind of
M4. Those are
interesting.
like
And
the
my guess
consumer
is
studio
in-
version.
If you go out long enough, assuming there's a continued improvement in
without having to
AI
build
and
your own
robotics,
and
which
do it all.
seems likely,
Gold new lows.
the
Hot dog.
money will stop.
Yeah, I don't
being
like
relevant
that.
at some point in the future.
Excuse me.
Now there will still be constraints on power, like electricity and mass. The fundamental physics elements.
I don't. I think the M5 is like
constraints.
slower in a weird way, but it has way
I
more
think
memory.
At some point,
No, there's an M4 with like
currency
196
becomes
gigabytes of combined memory. It's like $6,000.
Jensen, any thoughts?
The DGX Spark is like $4,000. Or you could you could get like almost double the power if you buy it
by the
separately
way,
and put it
NVIDIA
all
earnings
together.
close later today.
But you can buy a DGX Spark or a
And by the way,
GB10
since currency is relevant,
just straight out the box.
Cheers.
You could cluster the other ones.
Elon just wants to share with you some breaking news.
Yeah,
two
the
of us
DGX
like to
has
share
a
some
Blackwell
breaking
in it.
news.
That's the whole point.
Let's see. I would say there's different horizons you could look at. Everybody's jobs will be different. I think that's for sure. How the students learn will be different. How people do their work will be different, obviously, because a lot of the things that we do mundanely or arduously or very difficultly are
The
going to be
Apple
done very
looks good,
simply.
dude. The only problem with Apple
so
is
we're
if
gonna
you
be
got
more
it,
productive from that sense,
and like
from that
sometimes
sense.
not
One of
everything
the
works
things that I
with
will say
Apple
is
like
that
hardware
for most
or like just the
people
software.
or a company,
That's what I'm worried
if your
about
life becomes
from back
more
in the day.
productive,
Ow.
and if the things that you're
Like
doing,
when I would do shit back in the day with
great
like even
difficulty
trading
become
stuff, a lot of
simpler,
trading
it is
stuff
very
used to not
likely
run on
because you have
Apple.
so
It
many
wouldn't
ideas,
run as
you'll have
well.
more time to go pursue things. It is my guess that Elon
But I
will
know
be
things have
busier
changed.
as a result of AI. I'm going to be busier as a result of AI, and the reason for that is because we have so many ideas we want to pursue, so many things that we still have in our backlog inside our company that we can go pursue. If we were more productive, we can get to those things faster. And so in the near term, I would say that there's every evidence that we will be more productive and yet still be busier because we have so many ideas. One thing that I will say, give you some evidence, is that, and I was just telling Elon about this earlier, radiology, for example, has largely been
Watch those
converted to
medical AI
AI-driven
stocks. That's what he's
radiology,
talking
and there's
about.
some really great companies doing that. And the surprising thing is the prediction that all radiologists would be the first jobs to go.
So
was
isn't the
exactly
DGX
the
Spark,
opposite.
isn't
The
it
trend
exactly the
shows
same as the
that
GB10,
there
or am
are
I
more
tripping?
radiologists being
Isn't it just
hired
rebranded?
now as a
One's
result of
NVIDIA,
AI.
one's Dell?
And the reason for that, if you take a step back, it's because the goal of a radiologist is not to study the images. The goal of a radiologist is to diagnose a disease. Now the studying of the images became so productive, they could study more images, study more modalities, spend more time with the patients. And as a result, they were actually accepting more patients.
All right, you're going down, bro. Gold is tweaking. It's not bad yet, but it's flashing signs.
And so that's kind of the near
now a lot, that little like pop and drop, a lot of the tech stocks that are doing good are correlating with each other now.
And
they're all
we'll
kind of moving together now.
Long term.
Some of them they were all pulling apart randomly.
When currency doesn't matter anymore, just let me know right before.
Currency.
You'll see it coming.
Spectrum of thought.
All right, that was NVIDIA CEO
They said,
Jensen
cut it
Huang
off.
and Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Speaking
it's
at
a
the
little
US
too much for
Saudi
the people
investment
today.
Forum in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, you guys don't remember when I was telling you that about at the beginning of the year? You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope you guys understand that. Like, eventually, I do think there is going to be a window where, like, value changes. So, I don't know. Do you guys want to talk crazy, or should we wait till the market settles? So maybe we'll wait and remind me of currency changing if you guys want. But yeah, because right now, I mean, you're back to open, bro. This is terrible. So that way they just that's it. They just raked in all the chips. That's all it was. That just fucked up premium. Some are good. I still got a couple plays from the morning that are doing decent. I did take some profits. You guys heard me. But like I'm saying, I took them a little early, but now it doesn't, whatever you left on the table was worth it for not getting trapped. I just watched gold. I mean, you already got Bitcoin. We already have half the market down. It's NVIDIA. I mean, again, if you've been listening all day, I think you're well aware of kind of how today's playing, and then you know what we're looking forward to. But just, I'd say gold is your final indicator. If Bitcoin bounces before gold liquidates, you're fine. Otherwise, if gold takes like another 0.5% quickly, all about speed on that velocity. Now, I'm not talking just like a slow sell-off. I'm talking like, give me my fucking money candle. You get that, then I would be worried. But if not, that was just to fuck with premium. That made all those puts very hard for the people who loaded up. And even if you got a call at the wrong time now you got to fucking wait. So you're going to play that game back and forth. That's why I'm glad I took my things after Fila. Maybe give it like 30 minutes. It'll chill out. But again, plant though, if you still, whatever that play that I was talking about, if you want it, it's still around the same price. It's like a little lower or higher. It just depends on the spread. But yeah, you should plant if you still feel, don't let the price action fool you. This is either going to be a gift or not. But like, you get it. Half the market's down. Most of the plays here are big tech, and it's a very wide margin that big tech's leading, hence the size we're getting. Even though you're getting this pressure, all those big techs stop moving. And then Bitcoin is not looking good. The dollar's not looking good. Gold is showing you some stability, but if that gold loses stability, then you'll have pretty much the trifecta of give me my money. So for now, though, people were feeling good in the morning. I mean, just because it rocketed up and came down, it's still generally okay. So how do you feel? Make a decision off that, or wait. Again, this is very, very reminiscent of Chop City, which we've been talking about. The market settles. What do you mean? Every day we do philo, the market chill out. Amen. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. It's a big, big house with lots and lots of room. I'm so sorry for getting that stuck in your head. That's stuck in my head too. It's still on the Saudi? Oh, I'd like to listen to it. Let's hear. I don't want to listen. I'm about to go buy me a damn fucking Blackwell, dog. Lots and lots of long term.
So yeah, we're doing a XAI and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are doing a
Humane, 500 megawatts, starting with 50 megawatts.
Damn, 500 megawatts.
Yeah. Congratulations to the Humane team, to Targ and team.
Yeah, that's my guy. Is it the Humane, the
Jensen,
AI?
we're also doing some announcements this week.
Yalla, Habibi.
We are?
I know, I thought it was me too, bro.
We're announcing all kinds of things. Our partnership with Humane is going incredibly well. First of all, we work together to get this company started and off the ground, and just got an incredible customer with Elon. Could you imagine a startup company, approximately $0 billion in revenues, now going to build a data center for
$0
Elon?
billion?
500 megawatts is gigantic. this company is off the charts right away. In addition to that, we're working AWS, as you know, is also
Congratulations to the Humane team with AWS.
Claim NVDA data breach exposes internal source code.
And counting.
That'd be terrible if it actually hit.
AWS is also coming to Humane. We're working with Humane on Omniverse digital twins. As you know, that
the rumor Andrew Tate's portfolio got clapped. I don't know, but all I do know is
cognitive AI
I told you guys I'm gonna have at least a couple hundred Chads who worked normal jobs and made small good decisions. They will be richer than Andrew Tate.
And we
That's the vision. You know that, right?
Robots can learn how to be good
That's because y'all don't get it. My guys, I hope you see the vision. Last time I told you guys about the shift in wealth, Vlad tweeted about it and then tried to sell you some shit. So yeah, bro, it's real. Don't get, I'm just telling you, bro. I hope you see it. I hope you see yourself in that position. And it's going to require you owning good things, quality. Get some real estate. You don't have to overpay the real estate. You'll find some good ones. Little by little, my friends. And if you can't believe that, that's the problem. You're too stuck in the current. Think about it. You don't want to swim in the current, right? Don't be stuck too much in the current.
This is how we walk the talk.
You need to look ahead.
In the Kingdom of
I
Saudi
need you to
Arabia in
envision
partnership
greatness.
with the U.S.
Envision hope.
Yesterday, the
Envision
President
what you
and
will
His Royal
accomplish.
Highness announced the AI strategic framework and partnership. Today, we're going big with Elon and Jensen. So thank you for those opportunities.
Yeah, Dow already flipped right at a quarter, but yeah, Russell is coming down. That's it. You just lost all the
they told
extra
me I have
support
time
from
for two last questions.
all
So
the big runners there. They're
last
still
night
up a
at the
shit
dinner,
ton, but
I
yeah,
got
you
a
don't get
number
that
of
extra
questions
juice with the
because
other
it
names
seems that
pulling
the
apart.
schedule leaked, and everybody was giving me hints about the last two questions I'm gonna do. So the first one was for you, Elon, and there's a big one for you, Jensen. So prepare for that one. AI in space, is that possible?
Yes. If civilization continues, which it probably will, then AI in space is inevitable. You know, I always have to like preface that. You know, we shouldn't take civilization for granted. We need to make sure and take care to ensure that civilization has an upward arc. I mean,
Disney to refine dynamic pricing in Paris before launch. Remember, Disney's at one of those events.
Civilizations have life cycles.
I think it's at 11. Yeah, it's 11:13 right now.
I think we are for now, but we don't want to take.
Okay, bonds are again too. Even bonds getting a bid has been somewhat bearish.
In order to
The dollar's
the
still
way
up
to
a
think
shit
of
ton.
AI in space
Gold
is
ain't
that in
flush
order to
yet,
achieve
but
any meaningful
you had those
percentage
two
of
little.
the construct
Maybe
of
they're
scale
spacing it out.
civilization, where
Look at
you're
that.
using even
If
a
it does
million
another one of those, that's not.
of
I
the
feel like
sun's
they're going.
energy,
They've figured out.
you
We
must
figured it
have
out.
solar-powered AI satellites in deep space. So that once you realize, like, once you think in
Walk
terms
it
of
like a
large
long
scale
term.
civilization,
Long term.
which is
How I talk it.
what percentage
What?
of the sun's energy are you turning into useful work? Then it becomes obvious that space is overwhelmingly what matters.
I mean, if that security
The
thing
sun
on
only
NVIDIA is
receives
legit,
roughly
that's
1
not going to be
2
good.
billionth of.
But I think people are going to try to avoid it, or if it's not
1
serious.
2 billionth of the sun's energy. So if you want to have something that is, say, 1 million times more energy than Earth could possibly produce, you must go into space. And so, this is where it's kind of handy to have a space company, I guess. Sell the book.
Easier to cool chips in space too.
Yes.
Easier to cool chips in space. Yeah.
Yes, there's definitely no water in space, so you're gonna have to do something.
Yeah.
That doesn't involve water.
Just hang out.
Well, it's you just gotta radiate.
That's right.
So my estimate is that actually that the cost of electricity.
Again,
like
if
the-
you
the
want,
cost
look at
effectiveness
if you
of
feel
AI
good about
in
it,
space
plant.
will be
Otherwise, you
overwhelmingly
wait and
better
do
than
nothing,
AI.
or I don't
So
even
far-
know if you
long
could take the
before
downside. You take the
exhaust
downside when
potential
gold
energy
tells you
sources
to,
on
but it
Earth.
wants to do it.
Long before.
So just keep
meaning
that
like
in mind. You have your
perhaps in
opportunities right now. Don't get lulled,
4 or
and
5
just
year
think.
time frame,
If you only wanted it when it's
lowest
up, you should
cost
want
way
it right
to
here,
do
and vice versa.
AI
If you didn't
compute
believe it
will
when it's
be
up,
with
you
solar-powered
wait and then,
AI
or you could take it
satellites.
now and play it from here. But this is going to be a checkpoint, you guys.
I'd say not more than 5 years from now.
We're even, what, 15 minutes off Euro close?
Look at the supercomputers we're building together. Let's say each one of the racks is 2 tons. Out of that 2 tons, 1.95 of it is probably for cooling.
Right.
Just imagine how tiny that little supercomputer is, right? Each one of these GB300 racks will just be a little tiny thing.
And just electricity generation is already becoming a challenge. So if you start doing any kind of scaling for both electricity generation and cooling, you realize, okay, space is incredibly compelling. So, like, let's say you wanted to do, I don't know, 200 or 300 gigawatts per year of AI compute. It's very difficult to do that on Earth. So the U.S. average electricity usage, last time I checked, was around 460 gigawatts per year average usage. So something like, say, at 300, if you're doing 300 gigawatts a year, that would be like 2/3 of U.S. electricity production per year. There's no way you're building power plants at that level. And then if you take it up to, say, a terawatt per year, impossible. Yeah. Like, you have to do that in space. There just is no way to do a terawatt per year on Earth. And in space, you've got continuous solar. You've got you actually don't need batteries because it's always sunny in space. Right, exactly. And the solar panels actually become cheaper, so you don't need console framing. And the cooling is just radiative. So that's why I think
that's the dream.
Yes.
That's the dream.
So Jensen, everybody last night was asking me, and I'm mindful it's earnings call for you today. So I'm gonna say this delicately. Everybody has been asking me to ask you, are we gonna have an AI bubble?
That's the last question. All right, no. All right, let me just tell you what we see. Okay, so I think it's really important when you look at what's happening around the world and go back to first principles of what's happening in computer science and computing. There are 3 things that's happening. The first thing is that we all know that Moore's law has run its course, and the amount of demand for computing versus the amount of computation we can get out of general purpose computing is really challenging. And so the world's been moving to accelerated computing for some time. We've been pushing this now for over 20 years. Let me give you one statistic. I was just at supercomputing. 6 years ago, CPUs were 90% of the world's supercomputers, top 500 supercomputers. 6 years ago. This year, less than 15%. Went from 90% to 10%, and meanwhile, accelerated computing went from the other way.
Is that a fucking Nokia ringer?
To now 90%.
You hear that?
Okay, so you see that transition in high-performance computing.
Dog, I remember that from like 01.
Well, one of the most intensive computation things that the world does in the cloud is data
that's the OG Nokia ringer.
$100 billion of computation is done on just.
Hi. What happened? What the hell? Did they cut it off? Yeah, they just cut it off. Oh, come on. You're supposed to answer the bubble question, dog. That's crazy. Well, not bad, Chad. Not bad. I think it'll be over. That was the last question anyways. I mean, that is part of it. Him saying there's not a bubble and then backing it up with the data. That's what people were looking for. That was part of the... That was one of the bullish catalysts, essentially. Alright, 8:20, 10 minutes till power hour, Chattadoon. 10 minutes till power hour. Not a bad time. Alright. The stream is back. Joint ventures, first customers, generative AI startup, Luma AI, AMD, Cisco, Launch JV with Saudi Arabia-backed Humane. Reuters. Wait, I think you're getting another one. I don't know if that's new or not. Check AMD and then Cisco. Yeah, Cisco's reacting to that, bro. Hold on. I didn't know if that was new or not. It could just be with everything ticking up, so be careful. But yeah, that thing cut off, so it's no longer, Habibi, no longer. What the fuck is all this, dude? Wong working with Saudi Arabia to build supercomputers. It's running now. Everything is. So him saying no bubble, it's waking up the chip ones. You have a Cisco AMD headline. I don't know if it's reacting to the news or if it's just ticking up with everything, but Cisco's the only one that moved out of that. 100 megawatts is coming from Reuters. That was earlier, but other than that, I mean, I think you guys are well aware. I just keep your eyes on gold. But like I was telling you, this is a checkpoint. I'd make your decision up and then just get ready for the end of the day. You're gonna have to listen to me for a little bit, but at the same time, unless he keeps going on these speeches and dropping more headlines, I think your work is already cut out for you. The live is still working from the X link. Is he still talking?
Aziz Al Saud will deliver his speech in Arabic for English-speaking guests.
Yeah, he's done though.
We have live translation devices available for you.
This feels like a mutamer, Habibi. Yeah, Sweet Greens. Remember that move yesterday? Dude, the day is going by really fast. I mean, it's already what? It's already Euro close here in a second. All right, now that's flipping. So keep it. Low ticker is actually picking up hard. You do have China getting wrecked here a little bit. SanDisk now. So memory, that's one area of tech not doing good. That's flipping. Oh, dude, SanDisk. Let me see. Yeah, everything just took a candle now. Downside. Check gold again. Nah, gold is still holding, bro. I just think gold is moving so odd now. Because it's like doing it, but none of it is like I'm saying. It's not give me my money. Yeah, those NVDAs are up, but they came down. SGBX, we saw that one earlier. Jerome Powell. We have the minutes at 2, you guys. That's gonna be fun. So again, if minutes, it all just depends on if it really highlights that Powell and the gang were really messed up, or they weren't, or they're really bearish, or it wasn't as bearish as Powell made it sound. So remember, that is what you dealt with. Axios tech firms meet with Trump admin about export controls. All right, everything just hit. Like, not good hit, like bad hit. Yeah, even fucking Apple is staying really pinned. Meta's going lower, so that's adding a little bit more. Google's back to the only green candle level, where 4%. But yeah. And then you have Trump meeting with House officials on AI exports. Or the House, they're meeting with them. Something like that. White House. They're going to the White House. I keep fucking that one up. And then low ticker is almost fully maxed out. I mean, you're back to open, dude. Isn't that crazy? That's on Thursday for the tech thing. So yeah, you're literally right above the actual opening. Remember, the opening was like a baby gap, but baby gap. Was it? Yeah, no, not even. Yeah, it was nothing. So back to 6620. That sucks because you didn't get above 6700. Remember, we were talking about that kind of being a momentum zone. Yeah, China plays are getting clobbered right now too. SPY's about to go red. I mean, right now the Dow's already there. Dow's slowing down. So watch if you notice like XLP, XLV, any of those start to get a bid. And then watch also the bonds. Bonds getting a bid is kind of bearish, as ironic as that may sound. Let me go back to the checkup. Silver large red, gold large red. Oh, dude, it's doing it in waves. I think it's there, man. Unfortunately, but it's just not. The velocity is the only thing not agreeing. That's it. But again, gold just sold off 1.5. Who would it be? Yeah, the VIX already came right back up. They're just going in waves, dude. Like, it's very, very small compared. Instead of, like, imagine if this did that same move in 2 minutes rather than move, chop, 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 move, chop, move. You get what I'm saying? You're not really like, but it doesn't matter because you're still getting led to the same direction, though. So this idea now with the dollar up, Bitcoin, all of that, I mean, if you thought you were out of the clear just because of the NVDA run, I mean, that's just not the case. I think these are going to get clobbed. Oh, TJX on the earnings call. So again, it's either gonna rip during this or you wait like a day or two, bro. Because I'm telling you, that earnings was the best one I've seen in the last couple of weeks. The premiums are coming back to the morning where I sold them. It's a lower. I sold it when the stock was higher, but now those premiums are really sticky. But yeah, now it's came back down. So gold is still there too. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Can't gold be sovereign entities selling? It could, but just considering the situation right now with everything, I'm just viewing it as liquidity, and I think it'll serve that purpose. I mean, it has so far. Every day this last 2 weeks on any of the downside, people panic because everything, it wouldn't make sense to sell gold right now. Why would you? If the debasement, all these other things going on, think about it. If the market gets bad, people usually buy gold. So if they're selling gold, it's because they have to, or they need it. And again, that is some of the issues with private credit and everything in between we've been discussing. So I wouldn't get bogged down in some of the broader details. Just like you're saying, look at some of the last couple days and when it occurred, and just ask why. Why would you sell gold? If market drops 5%, you would think gold would catch a bid. UNG and oil, again, oil was going up. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Chili's, baby lifetime. 10% sauce. Do you guys remember that, or am I just really that old? That was a very popular commercial in my day. You feel old hearing that one? I remember I had a phase where I got obsessed with ribs. I think it was that commercial. SGBX, small cap, it's been running all day. I just keep seeing that on the high ticker. Low ticker has been nonstop. The same nonstop upside is now, you have a little bit of green sprinkled in there, but yeah, the momentum is definitely going south there. But remember the outsized weighting. So now you have 62 red on the NASDAQ, 32 in the green. So at one point it was 60% was the max. Then the last checkup was around like 50. And now another like 12, 15 names went red on the NASDAQ. Dow Jones, that's the first one to go red. Now you have 19. It was like 50-50 or 16-14 earlier. But you have 19 red now. And then SPY, 157 in the green. 340 in the red. That's like another 40-50 names red. So yeah, everything was already down in the morning. That's what I was trying to explain, because like even while you were going up here, you had 200 names down. So at this point, it's just you don't have NVIDIA gave up an extra 2%, Google gave up another 2%. They're still up a lot, but that's kind of why you're getting it. Well, yeah, think about it. Gold, if the people need money and people compete for dollars, it would make sense why the dollar increases in value. It also explains why I tell you your guys' money is important to these banks. You should make Robinhood give you something more than a chart. What? What did you say? What? What? I can't talk about what? I love you, Robinhood. So innovative. Amazing. Yeah, let's do a push-up. Would you guys like to do push-ups? Can I interest you in some health and fitness? Some longevity for your body? Some dopamine and joy for your mind? How does that sound? I would love to interest you in it. Stand up and get moving. Do a push-up, chest to the sun. Flex the core, tuck the hips in. At least sit with good posture. I bet you can't even move your pinky toe. You know that? I bet you. You guys want to make a bet? How many of you got full control of your pinky toe? Because you know most people don't have it. It's actually wild to think about. Most people don't realize this till they try it. You guys should try it. Try it. Go do this. Put your big toe down and then move all your other toes up and down. Try to move your pinky toe without any. You have full control? No way. You really do, bro? That's a blessing. I never realized the lack of pinky toe control that I possess. Even my big toe sometimes, bro. I can only do so many movements. It's tough, bro. I know. This ain't a game. GEV. G Vernova. They're 5. Remember, bro, they were hyping up shit yesterday with Trump. So again, all of them come at a day delay. That's how Netflix played. That's how the NVIDIAs played. All of these. So, yeah, man. Just keep that in mind. I'd even think TJX is going to probably happen tomorrow. Anything you think is going to go today is going to go tomorrow, probably. That's how it's played out the last, week. Barbecue sauce. All right, baby. I got to move around. I want to do the leg kick thing, but it takes a lot of work, bro. I got to do the wall. Let me see. I can play some propaganda for you. My bad. Yeah, low ticker again. MU coin. Let me get back. Is Bitcoin still going lower? It is. Bitcoin's into the floor. I mean, gold is just going to do this again, you guys. It's not. You guys want me to buy a play so it bounces? Because I haven't taken them yet, but damn, dude. Barbecue sauce. Now my leg's cramping. That's good, bro. I'm glad you're figuring that out, because that's not a good sign. So the sooner you start working on it, the better. AMD and Cisco and Humane. Yeah, we had that earlier. That's where Cisco moved, but everything kind of lagged. It didn't really go. And then again, we're going through this fucking straight up, straight down pressure ahead of her. Now, how do you guys feel about NVIDIA earnings? Because I'm telling you, bro, it took 30 minutes. They're like, oh yeah, NVIDIA is going to be great. So now, another hour later, hour and a half later, here we are, but we are starting to go lower. Even Google, bro. I thought that play, all these plays, that's what I'm saying, Chop City, you're going to feel like you sold out early. But then it's like, if it does this type of bullshit, bro, like, yeah. All right, man. You guys should know what I just did. If you didn't know what I'm doing, then you're not paying attention. So that's why. But you should, that little ding ding, you should know. Barbecue sauce. I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry long term. I never meant to trade you. I never meant to trade you. But tonight I'm saving my 10%. One more time. Alright, bro, I don't got nothing. I got no propaganda for you. You know what we need? We need a track. We need a good track. That's what we need right now. Jesus. Praise God. Amen, amen. It's a cult, baby. Yeah. If we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you've been scared. Big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear. No fear. Oh dear, who you trying to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Nah. It's done. Daddy said it's finished. Made me in his image, but that always made me timid. Wonder why we different, don't you ever get it twisted. It's the only way we get it, set apart from the start. And the heart isn't ours. It's a hippie with the love, but it's David with the sword. I want peace, so that means you gon' kill me if it's war. Need cheat, Trotsky can't beach on the arc. Want it easy or hard, want a genie or a god, then believe me, lil' bro, you a child, you a son of the highest in the bud. Don't deny it, we don't like it when they tell us who we are. I can tell you who I was, I can tell you who he is. I can make another song that's telling y'all about the crib. But for a second, keep it real, it's not the reason they will kill. It's the freedom in believing they want death to bring the will. But I'd rather have it now, and I ain't never backing down. Lion gonna eat me or turn his ass around. Either way, I will remain up in his name and say a prayer. Here, let's say it now. Jesus. I put Jesus on the beat so I can listen to it. I got reason to believe that we living in it. You could say it's one hell of a decision in it. Ay, if we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there, I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you been scared, big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear, no fear. Oh dear, who you try to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Amen. No, still no propaganda. Oh, there you go. No. I feel like it. Okay.
Welcome back to Money Movers. I'm Bertha
Right,
Coombs with your CNBC News Update. The House is looking to fast-track a bill to repeal a controversial provision of the government funding bill. It allowed senators to sue for $500,000 if federal investigators search their phones without their knowledge. Senate Majority Leader John Thune defended the provision, saying senators have the right to act against weaponization by the Justice Department. NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch today accepted Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani's offer to remain the city's top cop during his administration. In a statement, Tisch said while she doesn't agree on everything with the new mayor, they share the priorities of better public safety and maintaining stability across the department. And the cost of your Thanksgiving dinner will be lower for the third straight year. The American Farm Bureau says it's largely thanks to discounts on turkey. The average price of a dinner for 10 will be about $55. That's down about 5% from a year ago. Still, about half the items on the typical holiday table are pricier than last year. And I don't know about you, Sarah, I am all about the sides.
Listen, I like turkey. I'm like straight turkey. But you know what? The incoming CEO of Target, Michael Fidelki, told me turkey dinner, Thanksgiving dinner for 4 this year at Target for $20. I thought that sounded like a very good deal.
I would imagine you're using the the company label, the Target label.
Yeah, the Good and Gather. That's their own brand. Exactly. Bertha, thank you. Up next, CFO of GM with us, just presenting some investors some updates at a Barclays conference. At the end of last month, announcing layoffs in its EV business. We're going to talk about all of that and more. Plus, we're watching this market. Right now, stocks have lost a little bit of the earlier momentum. We're still in positive territory. We've still got gains in places like NVDA. Apple is higher. Some of the tech trade is doing well. Industrials, materials, and technology all higher, but losing some momentum in places like energy, staples, utilities, healthcare, discretionary, and financials. We'll be right back.
After the bell revenue and EPS, and I hope we get it, and I hope we also get, you know, some consensus or some forward guidance that says, hey, things are well, and that will maybe settle a little bit of the market.
Rebecca Walzer of Walzer Wealth Management. After earnings, right now we have got Target shares down by 0.7%. Home Depot trading lower by 1.3%, and Lowe's up by 5.4%. Again, recapping, S&P 500 index up by about 0.2%. For on-demand news 24 hours a day, subscribe to Bloomberg News Now wherever you get your podcast. I'm Charlie Pellet. That is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
All right, Charlie Pellet, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Scarlett Fu and Paul Sweeney live here in our Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio in Midtown Manhattan, streaming live on YouTube as well. You can go over to youtube.com, search Bloomberg Podcast, and that's where you'll find us there. Let's talk a little bit of commercial real estate here. We can talk about big markets, small markets. We do that with Liz Hart, President of Leasing for North America. The name of the firm is Newmark, joining us live here in our Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio. We appreciate that. Liz, you step back. Let's start with retail.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the retail marketplace. Where are we in terms of filling that up?
Absolutely. So overall, retail's performing really well this year. Lowest availability we've seen is 5%, and we're at 5.3 right now. So across the market, it's doing pretty well. But like most of the market, it's a quite bifurcated story. So indoor malls performing very well. Power centers performing very well. But if you look at what the availability is, the availability that we're tracking, half of it's been on the market for over 24 months. So it's that bifurcated story that stuff that's not moving, it's really not moving.
What does it look like in city centers versus the suburbs? I think about a couple places I've been to, like Seattle, which there are parts of downtown Seattle which look vacant, but then you go to the suburbs like Bellevue, and I mean, traffic is out of control, and it looks like everyone has gravitated over there. For certain cities that have really been hit hard by the work from home phenomenon, what does that look like?
So we're seeing that trend start to stabilize. It definitely was a COVID trend that was very, very pronounced. And in the last 12 months, it started to smooth out so that it is starting to show that it's starting to blend. But in the market that you just showed, Seattle is a very occupier-friendly market. So that's one in which the retailers are really calling the shots. And that's true in a lot of those West Coast markets right now. You're not seeing that as much in other markets, particularly in the Sun Belt, where it's really the landlords who are calling the shots. So it is a suburban urban trend, but it's also a geographic trend across the United States.
Here in New York City, we just had one of the, maybe the coolest office building open up, the JP Morgan building on Park Avenue. Just
what one to watch, right?
Awesome.
We can't go in there yet, though.
We can't?
Well, maybe we can ask Jamie Dimon. You think he'll let us in if we ask him on the radio?
If he allows us to.
Remote broadcast there. But again, across the street from Penn Station on, I guess it's 6th Avenue, you know, the empty lot there where that old Pennsylvania Hotel used to be. So it seems like the city's definitely getting better. It's back. How does New York City look just from an office perspective?
Absolutely. So in the trophy category, you're below 5% availability. So low single digits, very, very high performing. Again, you do have that kind of tale of two cities going on where the lower end of the market isn't performing as strongly, but we're seeing very high absorption in the top category, very strong demand being led, again, financial services sector, tech sector, which is coming back, and you're having a little bit of an AI boom here in New York City. A lot of companies coming out for the West Coast that want to get into New York City's tech talent, which is bigger than it's ever been. It's great to see that happening here in New York City.
That is super interesting. Talk a little bit more about that. What kind of space are they looking for? How quickly are they growing? And, where do they want to be situated? Do they want to be in Midtown near banks? Do they want to be downtown where it's always been more of, that. And what's the New York name for our tech sphere? It's Silicon Alley? No.
Yeah, maybe.
Silicon Alley.
I'd say Midtown South and then south of that. They do like to be more downtown for the most part.
No Midtown then, really.
No. Although AI is a little bit of everywhere because it's also, very much where we are right now, right? Because it's even in this building, you guys have an AI division, and the talent here is going to be in your building as well. So it really is everywhere. But in terms of how quickly it's growing, I'll talk about San Francisco first, then we'll mimic how it's here as well. It's pretty incredible. It's growing as quickly as I've ever seen it in my 20-year career. There's several companies in San Francisco that started less than 5 years ago that are already looking for over 100,000 square feet. I think there's 7 as of the last count, but the number's changing so quickly, it's hard to keep track of. And what you're really seeing is a commitment to the office space. So how interesting is this, right? They're able to build new companies. They certainly have access to technology, you know that, and they're a tech-first company, but why are they choosing to be in the office? Well, they're solving big problems, and when they're doing it, they want to be doing it face-to-face, and they're choosing to do it mostly in higher end buildings, creative buildings. They love high ceilings. They love to have natural light. And one thing that's really interesting is a lot of them are thinking about productivity hacks. So how do they get snacks that are elevating their productivity? How do they make sure that they even have the level of oxygen? Isn't that interesting? To make sure that they're maximizing their productivity. So a lot of an analytical approach to real estate that's probably much more than we've seen in that past generation.
How about industrial space? It seems like for a while there, we were building these, Amazon distribution centers everywhere you could. I mean, New Jersey, half of the state of New Jersey is an Amazon distribution center, I think. Talk to us about industrial.
Yeah, absolutely. So Amazon doesn't seem to be slowing down, so that trend does continue. But what I would say in general is that we are still seeing, some absorption that's happening.
I still can't believe the whole work
of industrial,
from
so
home
it does feel like from the data there's a little bit of a pullback in the data of an increase in availability, but it's just because the market's catching up to what was built.
Not only
and we'll see that for the next couple of quarters, but we are very long on industrial being a very solid market in the U.S., especially with the reindustrialization that's happening and kind of the reformation of supply chains based on what's happening with tariffs. But what's also interesting is small bay industrial. Wow, what a hot part of the market. I mean, very, very low vacancy, a lot going on there too. So the market's feeling pretty hot. And then from a user perspective, 3PLs are really...
I don't know if that makes any sense.
Oh gosh, make you explain these
things. What do you mean?
It's what you do when you're redoing the supply chain logistics. So it's kind of like I don't want to call it the WeWork.
Even some of you right now hearing it, like you get pissed off hearing it.
That kind of thing.
What the fuck did you say, Josh?
It is. And then they reposition it for you. But 3PLs, that's really the dominant player in the market.
Which city is kind of hitting on all cylinders here when it comes to industrial, when it comes to office, when it comes to retail?
Oh, all three.
All three.
I think probably if you're going to say all three, it would have to be somewhere in the southeast quadrant. So
Sunbelt,
and southeast quadrant is where I would say is probably hitting on all three at the same time.
30 seconds left. If I want to go out and build something, build a building, office tower, something, can I get the capital to do it? Can I get the banks to lend me money to do it?
Well, it certainly depends on what you're building, but if you're building for trophy in a place with good demand, you can now.
Okay, so that's the thing. I don't know.
Erect your own JP Morgan Chase fortress.
Yes, I'll go over there and just knock on Jamie's door and see what he can do for me. Liz Hart, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Liz Hart, she's president of leasing for North America for Newmark, joining us live here in our Bloomberg Interactive Brokers studio.
AMTM.
We still have some retail space on Lexington Avenue.
AMTM
right across the street from our office.
Yes.
It's been empty for a while.
And then there's a big sign in there with
might have another one.
Guys, I mean, you either have to lower the rent you're asking, or do something to it.
You know what? It has been occupied by banks. There's
a little bit of time on them, and you'll be fine.
They're just like walking advertisements.
The weeklies haven't been hitting as
hard.
hard.
You put a branch on a corner.
It's a lot of square footage for that.
Liquid again, too.
Exactly, in Midtown Manhattan. S&P up 11
All right,
points.
those are already up. They won't fill me on the other one.
NASDAQ
Windows
up 94.
closed.
We're looking at 10-year Treasury yields, 4.10%, pretty much unchanged on the day. BitDog, 89,400. This is Bloomberg.
I was checking some other things. But yeah, that ripped there. They already went 5. You'll probably get another rumor or something. Warner settles lawsuit agreement with AI music platforms. Nuclear monopoly at the center of Trump's nuclear dominance. Citron pump. It might lag a little bit, or that might be a dud, but they already popped. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay. Down. Your office went overboard with the no work. Can't even do it if you have doctor appointments. But like, dude, most of history, people went to a fucking job. Like, you guys know what I'm saying? Like, most of like all of humanity, like you went somewhere to go work. Even if like you owned your own company, you would go and like, you would go somewhere. So it's not like I'm saying, I think as long as you're productive, like that's really the key is like productivity. But I just, there's a really big divide with like employees and employers who like, they make this like a really, really big deal. And it's just like, I think it's stopped a lot of people from certain opportunities. And that's why, like, again, you do hear AMTM again, but that's why like people do talk about like, you know, there's not enough people to work certain jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's I don't think it's about control. Like, you have to be fair with it. That's what I'm saying. I think some people want to make it about control, and they're like, you do this. They're trying to control us. It's not. They want us to be unhappy. It's like, no, but, you know, you can't demand that at an entry level. You can't even demand that at like mid-level. You know, once you start becoming, you know, you work a job, you like build up, you become valuable to your company, your own brand, your own business, you know, then it turns into 100%. All right, free on that one. Then it turns into okay, are you effective or not? And if you're effective, most people do whatever the hell you want if you're effective, but there's a lot of people who demand that privilege of working from home without ever proving effectiveness or really working. So, yeah, man. I don't know. It's odd. Because, like, even my girl my girl got a really nice, like, job because she's willing to fucking work. Like, she has friends who are, like, they couldn't get almost any job they want, but then they don't because they're really weird about it. And yeah, I think it's becoming a problem, especially when a lot of people are talking about not being able to get a job, or companies talking about at the same time not being able to fill certain jobs. It's just, it really did a number on the last couple generations, man. Yeah, I think it is. What did they say? They said like a work from home job now is the new golden handcuffs. Because if you still have a work from home job, you're not going to leave it, because then it's hard to get a job that's not like that. But then you have to be stuck in it, because a couple people kept them. They kept a couple of jobs here and there for it. But yeah, it changed a lot. It's very hard to get promoted from work from home. Again, if you're effective, it's a different story. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we need to teach the young generation. That's what I hope all of you could gain from this. Like, you know, stop falling for the propaganda and all the other shit. It's just simple. Like, you become effective, productive. That's why I want you guys listening, and I want results out of all of you. I don't want to just hang out. I don't want to just chat. I'm sorry if you like the community but don't have results. I don't like that. I want you to love your community and love what you're in, and I also want you to have results, because I'm telling you, anywhere at, you know, upward mobility in like life, society, work, everything, you become effective, you become productive, you will start to realize you could do whatever the hell you want. You know what I'm saying? But you have to grind, or it's not about grinding. You know, if you don't have upside, I tell you to leave. It's about being effective and productive. And once you have that, then you'll start to really see, you know, you probably have more opportunities than you think. But following after the whole like, oh, give me the freedom without the productivity, that's a good way to get trapped. Yeah, there is lots of work from home accounting jobs, but nobody wants to be an accountant. That's the funny part. Accountant. You want a hybrid? Well, I mean this in the loving way possible, but like, it doesn't matter what you want. Because if you go and become effective, you'll get whatever you want. You see what I'm saying? But if you demand something without proving it, then it doesn't mean anything. And that's just the sad reality, is that the comfortability of it, a lot of people have now morphed into this, give me this as a job, give me this as my benefit, without focusing on effectiveness, without focusing on productivity. It says White House is live, but I don't see homeboy. Yeah, Trump is speaking at the Saudi Business Forum. So yeah, Trump is about to go live. I mean, again, we had that's kind of where this kind of ended. You got like one little pop on the Saudi thing when Jensen and Elon were talking. So we'll see. Remember yesterday, that's what started. That's where we did a lot of planting yesterday. It was right before and right during the Saudi talk with MBS. Hakeem Jeffries holds a press conference. Dude, I'm very disappointed in these guys. So again, you guys, they're going to release the list, man. But I'm shocked, dude. Like, so many Hakeem Jeffries, Stacey Plaskett, dog, the same people who have been making a lot of noise about it, they were literally talking to Epstein and taking money and soliciting donations. And just remember, Epstein was convicted and he got charged with soliciting a minor several years prior. There was an investigation that he knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, they knew that he was going to, they didn't know that he was going to get the 2018, 2019 charge. That you could say you didn't know, but they knew who this man was. That's why I'm like, I'm very disappointed, man, and people made news. And bro, you know the whole, they're going to release a redacted list. You know that's propaganda too, right? Why? Because over, like, I think 300 accounts all posted that at the same time, if you care to look. So, because you can't ask for something and then when you get it, say it's not enough. You guys, that's how you turn into the damn Soviet. You guys, do you want the evidence, or are you deciding somebody committed a crime and then you'll do whatever to get it? You get what I'm saying? It's not, the way people are saying that is very, I think it's even disrespectful to some of the victims there. But let's be real. It's not that list or not. There are some people who already know who that man was, and they were taking his money and they were talking with him already. So before you tell me about what's going to happen with the list or not, you know, even if we want to entertain the idea of a redacted list, y'all need to reconcile the first part. Does that make sense? Are you guys understanding me? Otherwise, I think y'all are tripping. What do you mean the guy was convicted of soliciting a minor and you knew exactly who this man was, and y'all want to act and play a game? I can't accept that. That's why I'm saying, like, guys like Hakeem Jeffries, Stacey Plaskett, I do believe there should be accountability, because they were, not only were they even using it to ask questions during meetings, that's just fucked up, dude. That's what I'm saying. You can't start looking ahead to the next thing and the next thing. Let's look at that right there, because that's what we just discovered. Nobody knew that. I didn't know fucking Hakeem Jeffries was taking money from Epstein and talking with the guy prior. I didn't know that C-SPAN thing was going on and the lady was doing that. And again, she knew. Everybody knew. Everybody knew what this guy was convicted of. He got in trouble for weird shit many years prior. So it's not all, that's what I'm saying, bro. The same energy that people keep having, yeah, dog, I don't know. It's very weird that people are already looking for another problem without reconciling a very, very dark level of involvement and corruption that already exists. But if you're not going to hold that accountable, then you really don't care about justice. That's the reality. Justice is blind. It's not because you like the guy. That's what I'm saying. If Donald Trump did something, I mean, I've already told you certain things with the bill and anything the moment I don't like it, you know, and that's what everybody should do. But there's a lady justice is blindfolded, brother. You know, so you gotta, I can't believe people are ignoring that, or people are giving it a pass that these people were taking money from a guy already convicted of that and then talking with him and treating him like a friend, or saying he's a normal constituent. No, it's just because they didn't like Trump. But do you guys not see the problem? Is that so many people use this I don't like Trump to cover up very terrible things and very bad behavior that should be looked down upon. So yeah, there's my rant after waiting for the, what's it called? I'm waiting for the Trump thing. I just saw Hakeem Jeffries live, so yeah, I had to. You're right. They do deserve uncompromised, uncorrupt representatives. That's why I'm saying, before you start trying to go around saying the list is going to be this or that, you should spend your energy putting pressure on Hakeem and that other lady, Plaskett, because that's already obvious right in front of everybody. If we let those people just stand, that's crazy. I view it as absolute batshit. And if you're telling me about the next thing, and ignoring the potential microns dumping. What is it? I don't know if that's a news or not. But yeah, that's what should people be making noise on, because that's nuts, dude. They do run. They knew everything, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's not like you can't say you didn't know. Everybody knew. Remember I was telling you guys that? When everybody would bring it up and I would be like, come on, you guys. Everybody's known this Epstein guy. Everybody knew what he was about. They knew what he's been doing before and after. That's why I'm like, why is everybody acting? That's why, like, the dude has anybody, bro. If anybody ever got charged with soliciting a minor, that's very odd. And that's not like normal. And then guess what? That sticks out like a sore thumb. That's not something that, man, you guys will bring up. You guys are still asking me if I broke up with my girlfriend. Y'all will ask me about somebody that was in the Chad 5 years ago. If I had a little piece of drama, y'all would ask about it. You mean it? Well, imagine somebody got soliciting a minor, and you think these people in the government didn't know while they were taking his money and doing other stuff? So unfortunately, now there's just direct evidence of it. And now it's kind of odd that I think it's scary that people are already looking ahead to the next whatever. But no, that's weird. Yeah, Gold again, man. Gold is doing it I think they watch the watch. I don't know who they is, or maybe the algos, or it's overcrowded. But yeah, you're taking another low ticker dump. SPY's back to that low. Again, Trump is about to go on, but really, again, gold is that's the thing sticking out. Those premiums are going up. Exactly. They knew the whole time they were quiet about it. They were getting up, making a racket about this list. Meanwhile, having money on the books that they taken from that man. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't even saying anything because I didn't know that. Now we know. That's it. So that's what I said. I want the list, but that's what I was telling y'all. You can't be saying release the list to justify violence, and then when you get real evidence of wrongdoing, everybody just act like nothing happened. All right, Trump's live.
We're gonna keep it that way too. But this has been, according to
This is why
those
people say
that
it's
seem to
because like
say it, and I will say
real
I would
bad
never
things
say anything
everybody
like that
ignores
because
and
I
only
want to be
wants to
very
use it
modest.
for
I
other
always
shit.
want to be modest as I can. They say this has been the best 9 months that any president has ever had. I'd say that's pretty good, right? But we've had a great 9 months. Now we have to do it more than a few more times. We just have to keep it going. We'll keep it going. I want to thank my friend, a great gentleman, Crown Prince Mohammed of Saudi Arabia, for his bold leadership and deep commitment to the ties between our two countries. Thank you. Thank you. Great gentleman. Yesterday, we had a phenomenal visit at the White House celebrating the 80-year bond between the United States and Saudi Arabia. We ended with an unbelievable show last night in a room that was far too small, but the next time you're here, you'll have a much bigger room. It's gonna be much bigger. I made more enemies last night by we had 119 people. That was a record for the room. So they've wanted for 150 years. They've been clamoring for a ballroom at the White House, and we're giving them one. We're giving them one plus, and it'll be something. But you'll be here. You'll be among the first, if not the first, if you'd like. You know, we'll work it out. But you had a lot of people that wanted to be there. They really would have witnessed something that was really incredible. The entertainment last night was incredible, including our great opera singer, but including the military. The talent in the military musically is also incredible. So it was great to be with you last night. I think it was something to behold. We officially designated the kingdom yesterday as the major non-NATO ally. That's a big deal. That's actually a very big deal. Great honor. That happens seldom, very seldom, if at all. So I just want to congratulate you on that. That's a sign of trust. We signed a historic strategic defense agreement yesterday also, and that's something that is likewise very rare, and it's a very honored company that you're in. And we're going to be selling Saudi Arabia some of the greatest military equipment ever built. We build the best military equipment in the world by far. That's why we do the most business, including nearly 300 American-made tanks is what you're buying, among many other things, the airplanes, and we're working on getting that approved very quickly. It's already approved, but don't worry.
Oh, watch Bobo?
We have to go through a process. The process will take, Elon knows, the process will take about, would you say 24 hours? I think so. You're in good shape.
Silver now, too.
Very good shape. The partnership between our two nations is among the most consequential in the entire world, and together the Crown Prince and I are making an alliance stronger and more powerful than it's ever been before. We've had good relationships and frankly not good. You didn't have a good relationship with Barack Hussein Obama. You didn't have a good relationship with Sleepy Joe Biden. But you had a great relationship with me, and now it's as good as it was.
It's the same
probably
jokes,
even
but
better
they're
if you
loving
think
it,
about
man.
it, because we took the dark cloud away from your country. It was called Iran and its nuclear capability, and we obliterated that very quickly and strongly and powerfully. But that was a real cloud over the whole Middle East, and now they want to make a deal. They want to make a deal. They want to see if they can work out a deal with us, and we'll be doing that probably. But that was a terrible cloud that you had to live with for a long time. 22 years they were thinking about doing that, the B-2s. That was even before the B-2s. Those B-2s, what machines they were, they flew in, they were undetectable, and they dropped their payload, and every single bomb hit its exact mark, which was a shaft going deep into the mountain. And every single one of them hit, and it was total obliteration. And then I was criticized by some of the fake news for saying the word obliteration was too strong, perhaps. They had no idea. Nobody saw it. 3 days later, when the Atomic Energy Commission went, they said it was total obliteration, beyond obliteration, they said. But they want to make a deal. We'll see what happens. This week, our countries also signed groundbreaking agreements on civil nuclear energy, critical minerals, and artificial intelligence. And I want to congratulate a lot of the great American leaders, business leaders that are in the room. And you'll do a great job for Saudi Arabia and for a lot of other people in the room that are buying your product, taking your product, and using your product. All of that is in addition to the $600 billion investment in the United States that Saudi Arabia announced during my unforgettable visit there last spring. Well, I said, could you try and get that up to $1 trillion? And yesterday, the Crown Prince announced that the number that they'll be investing in the United States is $1 trillion. So that's really an honor. And we just took a picture backstage with some of the great business leaders and some of the great people, friends of mine from your country, and beautiful picture. And while we were taking the picture, I said, could you make it 1.5 trillion? So he's got something to think about.
1.5 now?
We'll get something. I think we'll get something, Scott, right? But many of you in the room are playing a key role in making these projects happen, and we're told that $270 billion in agreements and sales are being signed between dozens of companies, and that's just happening today, $270 billion. That's big stuff. So on behalf of the thousands of American workers who I care about most, I want to thank you for bringing all those jobs and all those great opportunities to America and bringing great wealth to America. We've become a very wealthy country. We have a couple of little things. We're waiting for a decision. We hope that's going to be good, but if it's not, we always find ways, we find ways, but we've done things that nobody thought were possible, and we're taking in trillions and trillions of dollars. Tariffs have been, frankly, the best thing that's ever happened to our country. They've always been used against us, and we never had people that were smart enough to use them in the opposite direction. But now you do, and we have taken in trillions of dollars, and it's been absolutely amazing. We're going to be doing a dividend to the people, low and middle income, moderate income people, of at least $2,000. In addition to that, we'll be paying down debt very substantially. It's the kind of money we're taking in. And really, countries that took advantage of us are no longer taking advantage of us. Friends, some of our friends treated us far worse than our enemies on trade anyway, and we've got that all straightened out. And everybody's happy. They respect us again. It's like one of those things. I think they like us better, and they actually respect us, and it works out much better for us, too. But I especially want to thank our numerous Saudi friends here today, including the ambassador to the United States, a friend of mine, Princess Rima. Thank you very much. Great job. Great representative you have. You sent a good representative. And many distinguished ministers and members of the cabinet, governor of the Public Investment Fund. Where's Yasser? Yasser's here someplace.
Yasser.
Sometimes I see him dressed both ways. I don't know. It's cooler that way. I'd dress that way if I could. Yasser's terrific. He's a terrific man, actually. So thank you very much, Yasser. And Secretary Scott Bessent, who's been fantastic. Where's Scott? We're thinking about him for the Fed, but he wants no part of it. He likes being Secretary of the Treasury. I think we'll leave him. So let's push your name off, right? Officially, right?
Pick Hassett now.
Remember, you said that.
Somebody already in the White House.
I love the Fed job. To me, it's the easiest job in the world. You play golf for 28, 29 days, and you go and make a little speech. Tell everybody.
Talking shit.
In the case of the current guy, the wrong information because he has no clue. But if you have good instincts, it's all based on instincts. I see they want to hire 3,000 economists, 3,000, to report to the Fed chairman. What are they going to do? Take all this information? 3,000 economists. That's why they're spending $4 billion on renovating a building
3,000 people to tell you that tariffs are not deflationary.
They should have spent $25 million. They're building a basement into the Potomac River. I could have told them that's very tough to do when it doesn't work and it's very expensive. But they're up to $4 billion headed by this clown. But we have 3,000, think of it. They want to hire 3,000 economists. So they took a poll and they interviewed 71 people. And of the 71 people, 2 people got it right. 2 people. One was a great economist whose name I won't tell you because I don't like him personally, but he is good. And the other one that got it the most right was a man named President Donald J. Trump. Do you believe it?
I got it too, man. I got it too.
And I didn't have an economist. Why, it's Scott.
BBB. And then everybody still
we got it right,
it.
didn't we? Huh? We got everything right.
Said, why do y'all watch
Doug
me to not make
where's
money?
Doug?
What the fuck?
Will you please drill a little bit faster?
That's crazy.
Between him and I'll tell you, you and Chris was great on television, and he's setting records. They're setting records, but I'll never be satisfied. Drill, we got elected. Drill we must, I called it. Drill, baby, drill. Con Edison, a great utility from New York many years ago, they used to have it said, drill we must and dig we must. So when they were digging in a road, they'd have a sign, dig we must. Well, now we're putting those utilities to shame because I'm allowing all of those AI plants that are being built to build their own electric generating force, and they're building them like nobody's ever seen, and they're coming up with ideas and new contraptions like nobody's ever seen. And this way they can't blame me for not producing electric. I said, you produce it yourself. And actually they didn't believe I was saying that because nobody ever thought of a thing like that. They're building a massive plant. They were going to hook it up to a 200-year-old grid. And that wasn't going to work because there's no way of doing that. No way we could have done that. And I had the idea. This was my idea, approved by a couple of people. I said, why wouldn't that happen? They're building a plant for $50 billion. If you build a shopping center for $50 million, it's okay. It's not a bad shopping center. $500 million, you're talking about top of the line. $50 billion. So when it was first explained, they're spending $50 billion. I said, no, you mean 50 million. No, sir, we mean 50 billion. And then I saw some of them that were the size of Manhattan. I said, they did mean 50 billion. And I said, well, what you're going to do is with that, how would you like to build your own electric generating plant? And they looked at me like I was crazy because something like that, they really didn't understand it. The smart guys, they didn't understand it. They said to me at the next meeting, sir, the biggest problem we have will be electricity. I said, you don't understand. I told you last week, you're going to build your own. I'm giving you approval to build your own plant, and you will be approved within a period of 2 to 3 weeks. It used to take 20 years prior to termination. In other words, you would wait 20 years and you wouldn't make it. You'd be voted down 5 to 4. I said, we're getting you approved in a 2-week, 3-week period. In fact, Lee Zeldin, one of the superstars of this administration, I said, Lee, if it's oil and gas, get them approved in 2 weeks. If it's nuclear, add another week. Because some are going nuclear, and they're doing, be careful. They better be careful, but they are going to be careful. They're the greatest people in the world. So now they come back and they actually believed it, and now they're being approved rapidly, and we have things being built, the likes of which nobody's ever seen. We're leading China by a lot in AI. And we're also bringing auto plants in from Canada and from Mexico. They took them, and they're all coming back. They're all coming back because of tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, they like the fact that we won the election by a landslide on November 5th. That helped. But they're all coming back, and they're coming back from Germany and Japan. Toyota just announced, as you know, $10 billion worth of new plants. They just announced it last week. I went to various countries, and Japan was one of them. And Toyota's coming in with a $10 billion investment in 4 or 5 plants. Now, we're going to be more advanced than we were. So we led the car industry like 100% 50 years ago. We led the chip industry 30, 40 years ago. We had 100%. then people came in and started taking it. I don't blame them. Taiwan, etc. They took 100% because we had no president that protected our industry. If we would have said, it's wonderful that you're going to Taiwan, we think it's great,
Burry
but when you sell your product
a
back
ago.
into this country, there will be a 250% tariff.
Is not wrong.
Nobody would have left. Nobody would have left.
He posted a
And Intel would have been
valuestocks.net.
Intel would have been, where's Jensen? Intel would have blown, well, he now owns a big chunk of Intel. He's got it figured all different ways. Where are you, Jensen? Stand up. You have done such a good job. And you had a good 2 days, I understand, right? A good 2 days. How's Blackwell doing, okay? Any recent competitors? Anybody gonna blow Blackwell away in the next week?
Intel?
They say 10 years, I don't know, maybe 2 years, 3 years. But you will not be stopping there. You'll be going further fast, right? An amazing job you've done. I want to thank Howard Lutnick and Christy Noem for being here. Christy, Howard. Good job. Really good job. My daughter Tiffany's here with her great husband, Michael. Thank you very much.
U.S.
Tiffany.
Russian officials draft new peace plan for Ukraine. Remember, we had some of those rumors in the morning.
She went to
you might start getting
Georgetown.
more
She was a
circulating.
great student, and she finished really right at the top, and we were proud of you. And she was so proud, and her graduation got canceled because of COVID. But I say if her name were something else, they probably wouldn't have canceled it. They didn't like that she did so well in school. They weren't happy about it. I say they canceled your graduation because you were a great student, and they didn't want, but other than that, I have no problems. You see, I don't take anything personally. Anyway, great job. And of course, hundreds of the top minds in technology, finance, and private enterprise from both Saudi Arabia and the United States. But my message to all of the leaders and investors with us today, and they are the best in the world, is very simple.
That
Under the Trump
GPCR one keeps going,
administration,
too.
America is back and America is open for business. And America is actually stronger than it's ever been
Tech's
before.
going straight up.
Ever. We rebuilt the military in my first term. Foolishly, we gave a little bit to Afghanistan,
Is
but
it
not
reacting
very
to those
much compared to what
licensing
we
things
built.
that he said?
But now we're building it at levels that we've never done before. And in addition to that, we're sending a lot out to our allies, and we're making it possible for them to get it. I want those companies to build more plants, to build it faster. We want them to build it faster. The biggest problem we have is we have a backlog because it's so good. Every country wants our missiles, our jets. They want everything we have, and we got to go faster. We just have a new plane, the F-47. It won a very strong
tech,
competition.
still.
It's the newest, and that was won by
Dollar
Boeing.
round
Boeing is
two.
doing. By the way, Boeing is
We'll
doing
see
an amazing job
gold
of coming
goes.
back. Kelly is doing a great job.
You just
They're
mentioned
really
Boeing,
moving,
no
and it's
reaction.
really great to see. But
Yeah,
they
dollar's
won
not too
the
aggressive
competition
yet. No
for the
real
jet
velocity.
fighter, and they say it reaches levels that has never been reached, both in terms of stealth and speed and everything else that they go by. So they're just completing their factory, and they've already started work on the F-47. How did that number get chosen? I don't know, but I didn't pick it. I did not pick it. It was said, sir, we'd like to present you with the F-47. I said, that's an unusual number. How did you pick that number? After 4 years of economic nightmares under the previous regime, Sleepy Joe Biden, he was a sleepy guy, wasn't he? Think he would have been here today? I don't think so. Americans have rejected the failed.
tech, bro, another
and they were really
2%.
failed, far left models that you were looking at
Very
of high
big
taxes and massive spending, soaring
We still have
costs,
some more
crushing
free ones. They just don't
regulations,
have a
and
bid.
trillions of dollars in green new scams. Everything was a new scam. Green. Look,
All right, those already
I'm all
went.
for the environmental everything. I'm all for climate change. You know, they have a new word, climate change. Used to be global warming. It's global warming. Well, that didn't work because it started coming down. They did the global cooling thing. Then they just said, we can't keep up with this. It's too much. So we'll go, perfect words, climate change. They're covered. If it rains, if it snows, if it's warm, it's climate change is destroying the world, remember? The world was supposed to have been gone 2 years ago. They gave us 12 years, Howard, to live, right? 12 years. But that was 14 years ago. The world was going to burn up, but it got actually much cooler. They know these people. It's a little conspiracy out there. We have to investigate them immediately. They probably are being investigated. Their policies punished success, rewarded failure, and produced disaster, including the worst inflation in our country's history. We had the worst inflation in history, and now we have a beautiful normal inflation. It's going to come down over the next few months a little bit more, but we have a nice normal inflation. We had the highest inflation in the history of our country. 9 months ago, our country was dead, but now America is the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the hottest country. I don't care what country you're with. America is the hottest country considered, and we did this in a period of 9 months. We're a little longer than that, but it took me about 2 weeks to get started. We're rewarding those who build and create, invent, and invest in the USA. And you know, our tax, our big, I call it the great, big, beautiful bill. It's the biggest bill ever passed in the history of Congress. And Scott and I and all of us, we sat down and we said, let's do it, along with the Speaker and John Thune and everybody, said, let's do it all in one bill. And a lot of people were totally, they said, you'll never get it approved. And we didn't have a huge majority. We had a huge presidential win. We won everything. We won all 7 swing states. We won the popular vote by millions. We won everything. But the one thing, we won one, it's called districts. The country has districts. And we won in terms of districts 2,750 to 550. And that's the most, that's why when you see the map of the election, it's the whole country, it's all red. And it's pretty amazing. 2 little blue streaks on the right and on the left, and they're very little and getting smaller. But it's been, you know, it's been pretty amazing. But in 4 long years, Joe Biden secured less than $1 trillion. In 9 short months, I've secured $18 trillion to rebuild our factories, create hundreds of thousands of jobs, and bring back those beautiful words, made in America. So think of that. He did less than $1 trillion in 4 years, and in 9 months, we've done more than $18 trillion, okay? That's called success. And we think that by the end of the first year, it'll be over $20 trillion. So, and thank you very much. You helped with that little boost you gave us, that little increase. We appreciate it so much. We appreciate you. So as just one example, under the deals being signed this week, workers at GE Aerospace, I think he's here. Where is he? Stand up. What a job you've done with your new engines. And where are you? You're there. It's not a very good location for you. I thought you have been amazing. Great new engine that's supposed to be more efficient, more powerful, and less costly. That's not a bad combination. But GE Aerospace will soon be delivering dozens of new airplane engines for 787 Dreamliners in Saudi Arabia's commercial fleet. Big order. It was a big order just secured. Every new job and every new factory created by these announcements builds up our middle class and really strengthens the industrial backbone of America. And, you know, I view it differently. I used to view it as it's great, great, great. The stock goes up. I view it, everything is jobs now, because I don't care. I care about jobs. And
I know Intel's been quiet, but you just said it's hitting the wire, $270 billion in deals
right now than we've ever had in the history of our country. Those are big numbers. You know, it's like crazy. It's just a great stat. More jobs today than we've ever had in the history of our country, and we're going to be producing a lot more are coming. In my first term, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we're do it again, but this is really bigger and better and stronger. The first term, we had what was considered the best economy that any president has ever had. That's nice. And we got hit with COVID, remember? And we did a great job with COVID, but that was a horrible thing for the whole world. The whole world suffered. Your country suffered. Everybody suffered. And despite that, we had the greatest economy. And before that, forget it. We blew it off the charts. I'll never forget, I met with pollsters the day before I got the news about COVID, but I met with 2 pollsters because we were starting to think about the next election. They said, sir, if George Washington and Abraham Lincoln came back from the dead and they aligned and they went for the president, vice president as a combination, you'd be beating them by 25 points. And then the next day I was told that something strange is happening. There's a lot of death being reported in a certain country. I won't tell you which one because that country is well represented here, but you know which one. And thousands and thousands of people are dying. And I said, that's strange, what would that be? And it turned out to be a disaster for the world. There's, nothing has been seen like that since 1917. I always thought that when I heard, pandemic or anything you want to call it, but I always thought that was like an ancient phenomena, that could never happen in modern times, but it did. But we did a great job with all of the things that we did with the vaccines, with the so many of the drugs that we came up with, making you better. Regeneron is an example. Regeneron was fantastic. I give them great credit for what they did. But we did great, and then we started doing the gowns and the masks and the goggles and the ventilators. We were sending ventilators all over the world. We became the king of ventilators. But what a period of time that was for all of us. But despite that, we had the greatest economy in the history of we had the greatest economy in the history of the world. And I'll tell you, it was an amazing time. But this looks like it's going to be blowing it away, because when these plants, which are being built now, and many are going to be started very shortly, many, but when they open, we're going to see numbers the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. And, in some cases, you're building extremely complex plants. You're building plants to make computers and to make telephones, to make a lot of different things, missiles. But you're building plants that make things that are very, very detailed, and you have to have great knowledge. And you're coming here and you find if we don't have people that did that before,
yeah, they're saying they're not going to publish
it. And I may take a little heat.
No. Focus on not the rescheduling the other ones,
the people that I love.
But they're also saying they won't publish October 2025 employment
Sometimes
situation.
They're way right.
So October is not going to get ever posted.
If you have to bring people to get those plants open,
they're talking about rescheduling the other
ones,
but then they just slip that one in there.
Teach our people how to make computer chips and how to make other things. You can't come in, and I'm explaining, you can't come in, open up a massive computer chip factory for billions and billions of dollars like is being done in Arizona, and think you're going to hire people off an unemployment line to run it. They're going to have to bring thousands of people with them, and I'm going to welcome those people.
In North Carolina.
I love my conservative friends. I love MAGA, but this is MAGA. And those people are going to teach our people how to make computer chips. And in a short period of time, our people are going to be doing great. And those people can go home where they probably always want to be. When people are born someplace, they tend to want to go, and we have the greatest country in the world, but they want to go. But they're going to do. We had one case in Georgia where a battery factory. Batteries are very dangerous to make. They're complex, much more complex than people understand. And they spent $1 billion to build a factory. And
Powell just doesn't matter anymore.
And I said,
remember, he kind of caused some of the issues here because I thought he was mad.
We worked it out.
Even next
and
meeting,
now they're
he's
teaching our
there.
people.
I think people are tripping out on that.
They're going to have to spend. Jensen,
the headline is they're saying
open up
they're
a
canceling
big plant
October
with your friend from Taiwan.
Yeah, now Fed rate
cut
odds are moving.
Of the computer chip
That's the headline, not anything else. The headline is they're confirming
with people
October
that don't even know
done.
what a chip looks like. Do you agree with it?
So no
somehow,
October jobs report.
The people that.
I remember that was the rumor. I think it's confirmed now.
They're unbelievable patriots.
So you'll get November. You're going to get the other one tomorrow, or next. You're going to get the September non-farms.
They've never
but then there's not going to be an October
and
job
we're not going to be successful if we don't allow people that invest billions of dollars in plant and equipment to bring a lot of their people from their country to get that plant open, operating, and working.
But now rate cut odds are moving on that.
So my poll numbers just went down, but with smart people, they've gone way up. They've gone way up.
Way up.
And I mean that. So for those of you that are doing the plans, you're going to have all the help you need, and you're going to do a great job. And you're going to teach our people how to do it, and our people are going to be just as good as your people ever were in not such a long period of time. Since the election, the stock market has set, and this is a little more than 9 months, 46 all-time record highs. And the growth is now amazing, and it's lifting up the Americans and American economy like nobody's ever seen before. It's the biggest, there's never been a period of time like this. Wages for hourly workers are rising at the fastest pace in 60 years, and real wages for construction workers are up $2,200 a year, and that's good, and that's spending. They're going to spend, they're going to buy many of the things that you're making. In 9 months, we've lifted over 600,000 Americans off food stamps, and that's happening rapidly. You know, when we had the problem 2 weeks ago on the SNAP, and they talked about all of this, the numbers. So when I left, which was a rigged election, by the way, but that's okay. You know, they used to go crazy.
Everything's starting to get clobbered on
nobody
it too.
complains anymore because now they realize it.
SPY is moving off of that.
And it continues to be proven.
That's the underlying thing.
That number was $7 billion.
So that's going out more out the window.
Now it's $47 billion. That's by.
So why you got to think about it?
So if you think about it,
even though there's some people on the Fed who are like, yeah, we already have enough. We already know. Remember, Powell and the rest of the guys who disagree with Trump, they're going to use that as cover to say, well, without the data, we don't know if inflation's going to come back. So, ta-da.
I mean, they got the worst policy. I don't talk about it too much because if I talk about it, they might change. So, no, I don't talk about it. I tell people, don't talk about it. Wait till 2 weeks before the election and hit the hell out of them. Right? We talked about that, right, Elon? He said, we wait 2 weeks before. It's almost like you're in a war. Don't shoot yet. Don't shoot. Hold your fire. The enemy's rushing. Hold your fire. Don't shoot. Okay, now you can go. 2 weeks before. But I watched a guy the other day, a congressman, fighting for men playing in women's sports. And the new weightlifting record for a certain weight was just set. The man was 119 pounds higher than a woman champion who was a phenomenal
they were always
champion.
Friends. I told you.
Beat her by 119, and he was an average lifter prior to
they set up everybody to go crazy on the fucking files. Because all the files did
what the hell is he talking about
transition? And then Elon's getting all his money from the Department of Defense now.
They don't do a lot of transitioning. They're sitting here, the Saudis are saying, what is he talking about? They're saying, what do you mean women are playing against men? No, that doesn't happen, does it? Yeah, it does. These people are crazy. 1.9 million more American-born workers are employed today. Think of that, than when I took office. So we picked up almost 2 million workers, and more Americans are now working, as I said, than at any time in the history of our country. Under Biden, 1 out of every 4 new jobs went to increase the size of the federal government. So in other words, 1 out of 4 was a federal worker.
That's all based off of
I love our federal workers, but
and then the BLS
that's
stuff.
not the way you can build a country. It's a short road to a disaster. Under my administration, 100%, think of that, of all new jobs created came out of the private sector. In fact, the federal government, we cut thousands and hundreds of thousands of jobs out of the federal government. Now, if I wanted to do something for purely political reasons, I'd say, Susie, let's hire a couple of million federal workers. And you know what happened? Unemployment is unbelievable. We don't do that. They did that. They used to hire workers in order to fudge up the numbers. The federal workers. By the way, Susie Wiles, most powerful woman anywhere in the world by the biggest, most important magazine. Susie Wiles, she had a father, Pat Summerall, the great announcer, football. He was a great football player, became an even greater, the voice of the NFL, and he was supposed to be a tough cookie, and I believe it 100%. Most powerful woman in the world. She can take out a country, take out a country with 1 phone call. That's power. I don't know if I could do that, but she could. Thank you, Susie. Do you feel good about the job you're doing? Huh? She's never going to be satisfied. She's doing a great job. We're also making incredible strides to make America affordable again. That's a new word that they're using. Affordability, they talk. They had the worst inflation in history. They had the highest prices in history. The country was going to hell.
Hey, dog.
The only thing that we're going up in is our stock market, okay? The only price that we really have, I mean, we're bringing prices down, but they came up with a new word, affordability. And they look at we are all about affordability, and everyone assumes that that meant that, no, their prices were high. If you look at the numbers, since I took office, core inflation is now below 2.7%.
I don't get it.
It was
it makes sense
that nobody had ever seen before.
They're hitting now. Look on the
Walmart
wire.
just announced that the cost of their standard Thanksgiving meal
it's going through
is
again,
reduced
so
by
watch out.
25% this year from last year. So they make, look, the Democrats, I don't know, some of you are probably liberal Democrats. I don't know about in your country. I don't know if you know that word, liberal. The word liberal doesn't exist. But they have a new word now. You can't use liberal, you have to use the word progressive. And I don't like using it. It's a beautiful word, progressive. Progressive, that's not them. They're regressive. No, they're regressive. Think of it. So if I don't get in, we have $20 trillion. Let's say she gets in. Instead of $20 trillion, you'd lose $10 trillion, and your welfare and other benefits would go up by 30%. Look at SNAP, look at what happened there. From 7 million to 47. From 7 billion to 47 billion, it would be that. So we would lose business, countries and companies and people would flee
Okay,
our
now
country.
the second
They would
reiteration
flee,
is bouncing.
and all of the other things would go up.
Collection to be
In other
extended
words,
for
would
both
end up with a
surveys.
shell of a country,
Extra
and I'm
processing
being nice
time
when I
needed
use
for
the word
November.
shell.
The real
This
kicker is
country
the whole they're
would have
not
been
doing October.
in big trouble. And I don't want to
It
get
couldn't be
him in
collected
trouble,
due to the
but
lapse
that
in
gentleman right there, the
appropriations.
most respected man in the room, that's today because we're here.
Data
Most
from
respected
October
man, I have to
will
say
be.
that.
Oh, dude, it's not that bad. Watch it for rate cut odds. Dude, look at it.
Don't worry, when I'm with other
They're saying
countries
it won't
and the
be
leaders sitting,
published,
I
but
say the
some
same
of the
about them.
data
Don't worry.
is going to
Don't
be
get carried
included
away.
in the November data.
No, the most respected,
So,
one
yeah,
of the great
that's not that big of a
leaders,
deal.
he told me when I was in his country, he said, and
Everyone
I use
just
it all the
cracked
time.
out today,
Sometimes
bro,
I refer
especially
to him
after that
because I have
open.
great respect for him. I figure it sells
Yeah,
better. But he
half
said
the world
exactly
hates
these
Trump, and it
words. He
gets
said, it's
crazy.
amazing what you've done. 1 year ago, your country was dead.
Yeah, so
And
look,
now
you're
you've
ripping
got
off
the
of that now.
hottest country in the world.
But then
That
again,
was-
you're
you
just
were the
remember,
first
it's
one
still
that said
pre-earnings.
that. And I've used your
So
name
it's
hundreds
getting
of
canceled,
times.
but some of the
I
October
use your name,
data,
I
they're
say
gonna
that King of
knock it
Saudi
till
Arabia
November,
said.
and then that's not going
But
to come
anyway,
out
but it's
till
true.
December.
We were a country that was in really bad trouble. We were a country that would have been dead, I believe, within a year or 2 years after the election. We were headed in a very bad direction. And now we're headed in the best direction I think that we've ever been headed. According to the USDA, Turkey is down, think of that, 33%. And I'm not talking about the country of Turkey. He's doing fine. Erdogan is
So
doing
yeah,
good.
our rate cut odds ripping
Just
off of that.
wanna- I don't want him calling me. I'm
Bonds
not
aren't
down
moving on this
33%.
side, but SPY just got 2 candles off of that.
He's a friend of ours. We got to take care of our friend. Since March, egg prices are down 86%. Think of 86%. Many other prices are down in a similar number. When I first came into office, my first 3 days, I had a news conference, and they started screaming at me. Those people, that's a lot of people back there. Look at all the fake news. They started screaming at me, eggs, eggs. I didn't know anything about it. I said, what's going on with eggs? They're up quadruple. I said, I've only been here for 3 days. And we'll work on it. And we got them down very substantially. They said, don't buy eggs for Easter. At the White House, we have an Easter egg hunt. We buy thousands of eggs. People come from all over, thousands. They asked me, sir, would it be possible this year to buy plastic eggs? I said, I'm not buying plastic eggs. The kids are going to pick up an egg. They're going to, what the hell kind of an egg is this? And we bought maximum number of regular eggs, and we got the prices. Brooke Rollins did a great job, Department of Agriculture. She did a fantastic job.
Oh, I'm
And
fucking
eggs are way
turning
down
into a
now.
boomer,
Mortgage
dude.
rates are down despite
Holy
the
fuck.
Fed. I mean, Scott, you got to work in this guy. He's got some real mental problems. No, there's something wrong with him. It's just sweet. I'd be honest, I'd love to fire his ass. He should be fired. Guy's grossly incompetent. And he should be sued for spending $4 billion to build a little building. I'm building a ballroom that's going to cost
data's good. You just
tiny
watched it.
fraction
You
of
just
that, and
dumped
it's
on
bigger
people
than the
thinking that
whole
the data
thing put
wouldn't
together.
be in there. And that
You got to work
he's
at him,
hiding
Scott.
something, and then right when
The
they said
only
it's getting
thing
rolled over into the
Scott's
next
blowing
set,
it on is the Fed.
now you went right back up.
Because the Fed.
And then again, today's just a
the
weird
rates are
day
too
with
high, Scott.
most of the market down
If you
and then
don't
these
get
big
it fixed
pre-earnings
fast,
moves.
I'm going to fire your ass, okay? I can't tell
Powell
you,
has mental
Scott,
problems.
sir, don't fire him. Sir, please don't fire him. He's got 3 months to go. Don't fire him. I want to get him out, Scott. Please. He's a voice of reason. You're very lucky you have him, I'll tell you that.
Scott, the reason
Done a good job.
because it's Scott Bessie?
I think Howard's a little bit more for firing
don't
him.
fire the who's in Whoville.
Right,
We'll go
Howard.
inside.
I think Howard would say, get him the hell out of there. Anyway, well, congressional Democrats wanted the largest tax hike in history. They wanted to raise your taxes by 42% 44%. I proudly gave you the largest tax cuts in American history. Don't forget, the great big beautiful bill doesn't kick in until January 1st. So all these numbers that you're reading about, all these great numbers, that's without the tax cuts. The tax cuts take effect on January 1st, and that's
that in there.
no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
Wait until the last minute.
Even people that go buy a car, they've never had this. Middle-income people don't know what the word deduction is. They don't know. This room, they live on deductions. Me too. How much of a deduction do I get? We all live on it. Middle-income people, they don't know about that. They don't really have deductions. We're giving them a deduction on the interest if they buy a nice Tesla car and they borrow the money. You're so lucky I'm with you, Elon. I'll tell you, you are. Has he ever thanked me properly? Although I do let him buy other than electric cars, but these are minor details. We had a mandate, which even Elon thought was ridiculous, that everybody has to have an electric car by 2030. And once, fortunately, he said, that's a ridiculous thing. So I keep quoting, but I'm giving them a deduction. Now, Elon would like to have it differently. A deduction only if you buy a Tesla, right? But we'll let it be for everybody. But think of it. You get a deduction on the loan, on your interest payment. I think that's going to be an unbelievable boon to car sales. I think it's one of the biggest things, and we'll see, but I think it's going to be. And the biggest thing I've done for business and jobs is deductibility, where all of that money that you're spending, 100%, think of it, expensing for all new equipment purchase, factory construction, including structure. Every single thing you're allowed to deduct.
Yeah, bro, darling ingredients,
1 year.
BG,
and
food
that's
plays
what
are
made
dumping.
our first tax bill, in my opinion, more than anything else, bringing your money back in. We have that we have everything. Trillions of dollars, hundreds of billions, but trillions of dollars. Apple alone, Tim Cook brought in hundreds of billions of dollars. You couldn't do it under the old tax code. You'd have to pay so much tax, and just the bureaucracy of it. We made it very simple. We charged a fair rate, and we took in billions. Well, we have that. But the expensing, to me, was the thing that made it so successful. And the other thing is all of those tax cuts that we got, that was the largest tax cut in history. On top of adding to those cuts, we extended the original tax cuts. If we didn't extend, you would have had about a 58% tax increase from that point, and we were able to get that extended. So I want to thank the Speaker of the House, and I want to thank John Thune. And a lot of people thought that bill, because we put everything into that one, we took 4 years worth of things and we put them into the great big beautiful bill, and we got it passed. It was close, like about a quarter of a vote. It was on fumes. We thought for a couple of moments we were not going to be able to get it. Then we would have had to have it in 9 or 12 or 14 different bills. And I don't think we would have gotten many of them approved. We would have gotten some easily approved, but some we would have gotten no votes on. By putting it all together, we got everything. and it was a great job, and I think someday it's going to be appreciated. But among other things, it's the biggest tax cut in history for people and for businesses. So just enjoy it, and think of me every once in a while when you're hiring new people and making a lot of money. You just think about us. But I'm cutting a record number of job-killing regulations. That's the other thing. And I've already slashed more than $1 trillion worth of regulations this year. My last term, I gave the largest regulation cut in history, and now we're doing it again. In fact, for every new regulation, they're mandated to cut 10. And so far, it's for every new regulation, they've cut 30. So they have the idea. And very importantly, we stopped Joe Biden's radical crusade to kill oil and natural gas. Somehow, I don't think Saudi Arabia would like me too much if we decide to kill oil and natural gas. There's nothing like it. It works. Windmills don't work. Other things, I don't want to get into it too much, but they don't work. What does work is natural gas, oil, nuclear, and other things. But the windmills are a disaster. I am the biggest negative person on windmills. They ruin your locations. They ruin. When I look at some of these countrysides that are littered with windmills, and every time it goes around, you lose money. The country loses money. It's a disaster. And I just hope that some of these countries that are losing their ass, we have countries that are going bankrupt because they're putting windmills all over the place. You're supposed to make money with energy, not lose money with energy. And we talk about oil, and we talk even clean, beautiful coal. I said, you're not allowed to mention the word coal unless you precede it by saying clean, beautiful. So I have my people in the office, they're talking about coal, right? And they're going, sir, a clean, beautiful coal is doing very well, sir. And then 2 minutes later, clean, beautiful coal. Then he mentions the third time, sir, coal. No, it's clean and beautiful. Because it needs a public relations help. Coal needs a little help, public relations-wise. So we refer to it as clean, beautiful coal, and it does have its place, that I can tell you. But we're streamlining permitting for all new energy projects, all new mining projects, and what used to take 28 days is now down to very little. But we had times when, not 28 days, we had times when things would take 14, 15, 16, and even 20 years to get approved. We have a maximum day, 28 days. That's the maximum it'll take. It'll never take more. You can come in with $1 trillion factory. You can come in with what it takes, a maximum of. You don't have to go years and years and years, be abused by bureaucracy. If you build a plant now, you're going to have your plant done within 28 days. And a lot of you are all, because I see everyone shaking their head, you're all agreeing. We're getting you approved by very smart people quickly. You know, when you used to walk in with plans done by the best engineers in the world, thousands of pages, and drop them on some guy who's been there for 28 years approving environmental impact statements, and he's looking at pages that he's never seen, and he's supposed to approve it. He has no idea what the hell is in those pages. So we know what we're doing. We're going to get maximum is 28 days. That's why we have so much under construction, and people can't believe it. They can't believe it. And again, remember what I said, most important thing, you're building your own electric plant. You're really becoming a utility in addition to doing what you're doing. But you're building all of the excess, all of that energy, all of that electricity is being built. And your excess electricity, you can sell back to the federal grid. So we even make it there. Under the deals being signed this week, the world's two leading energy superpowers, America and Saudi Arabia, are partnering on energy like we've never partnered before. American Saudi companies represented here today are joining on liquefied natural gas, infrastructure, constructions, and making both of our energy sections, our sectors are becoming so strong. Just a quick story, in Louisiana, when I first time I got there were two massive LNG plants. One was under review for 14 years and was being rejected. The other one was for 18 years. The people of Louisiana, Doug, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And one was $20 billion, one was $24 billion, like the biggest things, like 3 Empire State Buildings lying on its side. It was massive. And I said, whatever happened with those plans? Well, sir, they're under review. How long has it been? 14 years and 17 years. And they had given up. Massive investments were being made by other countries and the richest people. They couldn't get them approved. I got myself involved. Right, Doug? The first one, I got approved in 1 day. The second one, I got a little cocky. I took my time. It took me 1 week. And they're both operating today, and they're tremendously successful. I got one, think of it. After 14 years, I was in office. I got involved. I got it done in 1 day. And it's been a tremendous success and made a lot of money for our country and for a lot of other people. And the other one took 1 week to get done. That one was under review, I think, for 14 or 15 years, both of them. So I'm very proud of that, actually. I also proudly ended the ridiculous Biden-era restrictions on artificial intelligence, and we will work closely with friends and partners like those in this room to build the largest, most powerful, most innovative AI ecosystem in the world, and we are going to work it so that you'll have a one approval process, not have to go through 50 states in the United States. You know, you can't go through 50 states. You have to get one approval. 50 states is a disaster because you'll have one woke state and you'll have to do all woke. You'll be back into the woke business. We don't have woke anymore in this country. It's virtually illegal. But you'll have a couple of wokesters, and we don't want to do that. We want to get the AI done, and I'm working with David. David's done a fantastic job. If he's here, I think he is. He is. Thank you. David's done a fantastic job. But we want one approval, one, and hopefully you have the right guy in the federal government. Hopefully you have the right president, but you have one approval, one approving body, not 50, not, you know, hundreds of people all over the country looking at what you're doing. And basically you're forced to take the worst and the most onerous, right, Jensen? Are you happy with that, Jensen? Thank you. If Jensen's happy, I'm happy. But what's very important, we have to do that. And we have a couple of very good, very well-meaning senators that think every state should have a right to approve. We're not going to do that because that will not allow you to do what we have to do. And we'll get that straightened out. Together, the United States and Saudi Arabia are unleashing really the most incredible new prosperity together. And we're also making history and forging peace. And I've settled 8 raging conflicts, 8 wars. I've settled 8 wars. I have 1 to go. You know what that one is. I thought that was going to be my easy one because I have a good relationship with President Putin, but I'm a little disappointed in President Putin right now. He knows that. I thought that was going to be the easy one. I settled 1 war, 36 years. I got it done in 1 day. I had another one, 32 years, millions of people killed. Even Congo and the Rwanda, they had 10 million people killed. It was out of control. I got that settled. I have a man's father who happens to be in this room doing a great job, right? Got that settled. I settled 8 wars. And I'll tell you, His Majesty would like me to do something very powerful having to do with Sudan. It was not on my my charts to be involved in that. I thought it was just something that was crazy and out of control. But I just see how important that is to you and to a lot of your friends in the room. Sudan, and we're going to start working in Sudan. I didn't think that that was one that was going to be so easy to do, but we're going to start working. Mohammed said, yeah, thank you. Thank you to you. No, it wasn't on my charts because I'm good at settling disputes, and I've always been. I've done very well with that over the years, even before this. But you know, I was talking about the different wars, and it's, look, India, Pakistan, they were going to go at it, nuclear weapons. I said, that's okay, you can go at it, but I'm putting a 350% tariff on each country, no more trade with the United States. No, you can't do that. I said, I'm going to do it. Come back to me, and I'll take it down, but I'm not going to have you guys shooting nuclear weapons at each other, killing millions of people, and having the nuclear dust floating over Los Angeles. I'm not going to do it. They said, we don't like that. I said, I don't care if you like it or not. So I was all set. I told Scott, 350% tariff to settle that war. If you don't, we'll make a nice trade deal. They were in the midst of a deal. Now, no other president would have done that. Another guy would have, like Joe Biden, doesn't even know what countries we're talking about. He wouldn't have any idea. There'd be no tariffs, no nothing. Just the whole world would go to hell. But no, I used tariffs to settle all these wars. Not all of them. 5 of the 8 were settled because of the economy, because of trade, because of tariffs. So I did this. But, and then, I'll tell you what, the Prime Minister of Pakistan called me, thank you very much. He actually said I saved millions, and he said it in front of Susie. He said, President Trump saved millions and millions of lives. He doesn't even know that, but he saved millions of lives, and he talks about it. And I got a call from Prime Minister Modi saying, we're done. I said, you're done with what? We're not going to go to war. I said, thank you very much. Let's make a deal. But I saved a lot of people, millions of people, on many other wars. Azerbaijan, you know what was happening there? I settled that. That was going on for many, many years. Actually, Putin called me. He said, I can't believe you got that one settled. We've been trying to settle that one for a long time. I said, don't worry about that. Just let me settle your frickin' war, okay? You don't have to help me. I don't need any help. I need help with your war. And it'll get done. But working with the Crown Prince was amazing because he mentioned Sudan yesterday. And he said, sir, you're talking about a lot of wars, but there's a place on earth called Sudan. And it's horrible what's happening. And I viewed it as being just sort of a freelance, no government, no this, no that. And he explained the whole culture and the whole history. And it was very interesting to hear. Really amazing, actually, to hear. And you know, we've already started working on that, okay? He said that would be the greatest thing you can do. That would be greater than what you've already done. That was your expression. Is that a correct expression? Pretty good. So we're working on that. We started about 30 minutes after you explained to us the great importance of that. I view it differently now than I did just a day ago. But we also, as you know, we had a historic ceasefire. We ended the war in Gaza. And 2 days ago, incredibly, the United Nations Security Council backed the Trump peace plan. And we have a great peace plan. We have peace in the Middle East. This is a strong peace, too. They say, oh, it's tentative. It's not. This is a very strong peace. We have 59 countries signed on. And when there's problems, I'm getting calls from countries. They want to go in and lead the fight to solve the problem if we have any problems. But right now, it's looking very good and endorsed. They endorsed the United Nations, what's called the Board of Peace, chaired by a person called Donald J. Trump. I accepted the chairmanship. They asked me to be chairman. That's what I needed. It's just a little more work, but it's a great honor. That'll be the greatest board ever assembled. When you see this board will blow every board away. And I believe we're going to be lucky enough to have the Crown Prince be a very distinguished member of the board. But we're going to have the heads of the Board of Peace. And I think it will go long beyond Gaza and the Middle East. I can see that going long beyond. There'll never be anything like this in terms of, I know you all have wonderful boards, but this is going to blow it away. It's going to blow them all away. And it's going to do some really good. So in the coming months, the Crown Prince and I are going to ensure that the ceasefire and everything else that's going on that's so positive in the Middle East, hard to believe. I mean, I've grown up, peace in the Middle East. I used to have peace in the Middle East, but never happened. We have peace in the Middle East. It's an amazing thing. Nobody thought, 3,000 years they talked. Nobody thought it would happen. In just 9 months, our administration has achieved more than most other administrations achieve in 8 years. And we're leading again in just every country. We want to win. We want to win for you. We want to win for ourselves. We want to help our allies. We want to change our enemies. We want to change our enemies. I'm being nice when I say it that way, but we want to change them. And if they don't change, we're going to be nasty. But hopefully we're not going to have to be nasty. But we want the world to prosper. We want the world to be safe. Our alliances are flourishing like they haven't before. And, you know, they're respecting America again. They didn't respect us. We were like a bunch of stupid people. We had a president that couldn't get up and talk. couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. We had people that didn't know what the hell they were doing. We were an embarrassment all over the world. But now we have people that are respected at levels that we've never seen before. So I just want to tell you that this is a group that I respect. I read every single name of every single person sitting in each and every seat, and I either know you or I know of you. This is an amazing group of people, and it really is headed by that gentleman sitting right smack center with 2 seats in between him. He wants plenty of room. And he's going to be the king of Saudi Arabia right now. He's the most distinguished gentleman. He's my friend. And thank you very much for what you've done for us, and we will always be with you.
I went to the bathroom,
Thank you, Mohammed. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Saudi Arabia.
Thank you.
Rocka. Alrighty. That was great timing. Nuclear's going up. But guys, can I tell you something? Oh, maybe I didn't think we could have our little money talk after Philo, but can I tell you something now? It's off topic, but not really. But can I tell you something? I don't know if you guys can handle it right now. I think the locked in guys are going to agree, but this is for everybody. Can I really show you? Can I just say something? You know, I'm going to say it anyways. So I know, I'm sorry. I'm just hyping it up. All right, man. Can I just tell you, bro? I love you. I do. I really do, man. You know why? Do you guys not notice? Do you not notice something? That was like, what, an hour of Trump maybe? 45 minutes of Trump? Well, y'all tripping. Did y'all not see the chat? I'm so grateful, bro. And I'm sorry some of you had to be sacrificed. But y'all crazy. Do you not see it, bro? Do you not see how... that's why, because I was in the bathroom. I was taking a dump. And I'm reading through the normal chat, bro. Oh, it's clean. It's not as active. It's not crazy. But, dog, what do you mean? We get to listen to something like that. I get to commentate randomly here and there. Right? But that's it. I'd interrupt if some breaking news would happen. I would interrupt to explain. And that's it. I ain't have to read no dumb shit. You ain't got nobody trying to make you mad. Nobody trying to push your buttons. No stupid disagreement based on some whatever propaganda you read earlier in the day. You know what I'm saying, bro? So I'm very, very grateful for that. And that's the reason why. We're coming home, baby. I like to see that. And that's exactly the reason why we've done a lot of things, bro. Because like I'm telling you, bro, yeah, that's perfect, dude. That's exactly how it should be. That's why I'm saying, if you want to put yourself in an environment where, you know, people fuck with you, it's bothersome, like, you know, it's not related, because we covered everything. You got plays in between. You got all the info. We're here to listen for the purpose, and that's what I'm saying, bro. So it may not be as fun. It may not be as everybody doing whatever, but it's like, dog, that's exactly how it should be, bro. It's just stock market live. You're here for the market. It's trading. You're still getting everything. So it's like, yeah, man. Oh, I'm so grateful for that. That's beautiful. That was beautiful. That's exactly how it should be. So if you ever wonder why and what we're, you know, again, I think it's well worth it. And that's why I encourage all of you, if you do want to be a part of this community, that's what I expect. That is the standard. That is the exact standard. Not anybody just airing their opinion for no reason, getting in the way. It's just simple. It's focused. It's defined. It has everything. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's supposed to work, bro. And then if anything ever big happened, you're not going to miss it. You don't have to deal with the back and forth. You're not getting your emotions wild. You could focus, baby. So, yeah, I love that, bro, because that was nice. I got to have the vision. I envisioned this before. That's why. It was cool to see that come to life. EXAS is running. I already put that up there. So, yeah, man, it is time for Philo now. So, again, if you want to go to Philo, I would love to see you there. If you want to have a good talk about life. I have a good one today. I don't think it's too Bible-oriented, so maybe some of you would enjoy that, but Again, it's not going to be on topic of the market. We'll still do our thing and focus on it. If something big happens, I mean, you should be prepared for the earning. Remember, that checkpoint zone was right here, guys. So keep that in mind, because you're like right below the checkpoint from earlier. Not too much has moved except a couple of spreads here and there. So, yeah. Oh, WBD, the curse. Oh, no. Did the deal fall through, or did they say some bull? I've never shorted it, have I? I don't even think those will hit. But yeah, WBD is getting popped. Oh, those puts are expensive because of how much it went up. Oh, there's one set of cheap ones. Should we do it? I'll put a small amount down if it fills me. Yeah, it filled me. They were cheap. Like, really cheap. But you have to go short term. Well, not a recommendation. God bless you all. So yeah, we're going to go to Philo. We're going to talk about life a little bit. If you would like to be there, I would love for you to join, but don't go to something you don't want. That's what I'm saying, because like everybody here should be here for a reason. And remember, you can focus on how it is. No one's trying to bother you. I don't like it when y'all bother each other. I don't like it when you bother me. I like peace. I like focus. I like productivity. So yeah, baby, that's all we got to do. So join the link when it's on there. Everybody could listen for free. All you got to do is click on it. It'll take you there so that the title, there's no confusion on what you're getting. You can't act surprised by what's going on. Like, what's he talking about? I thought this stock market It is, baby. We do all of it. All of it, baby. So yeah, with grace and beauty. I love it. It was so productive. You guys did amazing. Did you realize how good the Chad was? I don't know if you saw it. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's really good, man. That was a lot of Trump. That was a lot of politics, but, let the other people talk bullshit. But, yeah, I didn't see that from any of y'all. So I'm very, very glad with our disciplinary actions that allowed that. And so that's why, man, that's like, you got to tell me what the alternative is. If I free everybody tomorrow, what would that look like? So you should know what's expected. I love it. I'm very impressed, Chad. So God bless America. God bless God. God bless the Philo. I will see you on over there. And yeah, wait, I don't know if it's going to take you there. Hold on. Can I take you higher long term? No, it wasn't going to take you there. I was just getting excited. You guys got me excited. All right, baby. It'll take you there. Peace.